Hi lovely friends, welcome or welcome back to Tarot AF. So today I have another pick a card reading for you all, which is for the singles out there. So singles, what's next in love? So what we're going to look at firstly is we are going to look at your current energy towards love, so that when we look at where we've been, we can then see where we're going. So we're going to check in firstly with your energy towards it, situation, so you feel comfortable in that pile and you feel like it is with you and it is resonating with you, and then we'll delve into tarot further, and of course we'll round it off with some love affirmators and advice for all of you. So today we have 5 piles ready and waiting. We have the Synesthesia Tarot deck with the fluorite moon, we have the True North Tarot with the amethyst butterfly, we have the Synesthesia Tarot with the crinoline pebble, we have the Wonderland in Tarot deck with the honey calcite heart, and we also have the Mystic Mondays Tarot with the quartz bear. So if you've never been to a pick a card reading before, hello and welcome. Thanks so much for joining. So what you can do, you can take a moment, you can pause the video, you can meditate over it, you can see which one is drawing you in. If you're drawn to multiple piles, maybe both share a message for you, but take a moment, and what I do is I post the times in the box below and you can skip ahead there to your reading. I will see you then. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 1. So if you picked the Synesthesia Tarot deck and the fluorite moon, then this is going to be your reading. So I've shuffled your oracle cards already, and this is, like I said at the beginning, your current state, your current emotional, mental state towards love. So you can check in, make sure that it resonates with you, this pile. So we have happy family, we have intention, we have evolution. You realize that obstacles are merely lessons on your path to love. And we also have sprout. New opportunities will be revealed to you, beginnings, growth, and potential. And then I want to shuffle some tarot cards for you to get a little bit more context as well. But already, I can see, so interesting that strength just came up. I was just about to say, the strength that you've mustered and kind of got behind you, I think, after previous like relationships, or if there weren't any relationships, then previous kind of trials in love. It feels like you're kind of, like, I'm hearing break my stride, like nothing's going to break your stride, nothing's gonna get you down in that way. It's, you're learning that those obstacles, those directions that it has pushed you in and pulled you in, are those lessons which are bringing you closer towards that feeling. And there's this deep intuitive knowing, especially through the High Priestess card. Maybe you don't know what it holds, and I mean, we can never truly know exactly what's going to happen on any given day, but there's this feeling of you're aligning to that energy of love, and setting your intention for that, for a new beginning, for something to grow. And by going towards that path of love, by choosing that, you know you're in the right place. And it feels like you really almost, whatever door kind of shuts, potentially maybe a previous relationship, or like I said, maybe it was something that never really got going for some people, whatever those are, those feelings of shut outness, it's actually propelled you into the unknown. And there's kind of that freeness and liberation in stepping into the unknown, into not knowing where you're going. And it feels at the beginning like, and I think you've gone through those initial pangs of worry and doubt, and, you know, not really knowing where to turn, and feeling in physical need of something, that kind of absence of. But I think it's been a time for you to really connect with happy family. Could be your chosen family, your friends, and just really feel like you are within your community and within your emotional abundance. through your own means, and there's great strength and vulnerability that you've been able to foster, and it says on the card, find your magic. And I like that, as in you have realized how much is already within you, and actually you are your own wholeness in a lot of ways, and anything else is a new opportunity, is a cherry, a sprinkle on top of the cake. And I feel like you've set your intention for love, is that it's kind of one of those things where you're going to allow to happen. It's not like you're constantly searching and seeking, but you're choosing love at every opportunity that you have. The love for yourself, the love for ideas, opportunities that you see that come up. You're making sure that they align with that energy, which is absolutely the right thing in order to receive that back to you. And with the Hierophant, it's kind of, the Hierophant card, I feel like you are you're kind of in this state where you've got this kind of hunger to feel this energy of love now that you've really aligned to it, or you feel like you're aligning to it in a lot of ways. And this could even just be other ways in terms of your career, your work. It just, in your general physical manner, like reality, it feels like that's the energy that you're surrounding yourself in. And it's like you're always, there's this kind of active waiting. You know that you're worthy of of this love, and you are deserving of it. And therefore, it's kind of like under the level, you're just under the surface level with this like sprout. You're just waiting for things to grow, for things to take off, and I feel like there's that control there. Like you'll know it when you feel it. And the Hierophant is this kind of like living in faith every day that you're aligning towards that. And there's this great kind of spiritual nature through all of these cards of nurturing yourself and having this kind of divine feeling and divine guidance that you have learned all these lessons, that you will continue to learn these lessons, and you know things are just hatching and awakening for you. And that Fool is taking that leap of faith and trusting that net is going to appear. And not saying that anyone is your net or anything like that. It's you traveling into this journey of love, and falling in love is literally that thing of the Fool, isn't it, of like falling into the unknown, and it feels like you're prepared for wherever that journey takes you, and you're not taking the baggage of the past relationships, and there's this kind of acceptance of it. You're not allowing it to rule you on your next facet of your journey. You're in a really healthy place to receive it, and I think you feel really good in terms of where you are, and you're, like I said, your own wholeness. And there's this kind of freedom from the past, and almost like you've closed the door as well. If it feels like a relationship someone else closed the door on you and you felt out of the cold, it's kind of like, actually, I'm locking that door now. I don't actually need to peer behind it anymore. That's something that, yes, it may have closed on me, but I'm making sure that is well and truly shut, because I know that that is not energy that I'm worthy of anymore. I'm worthy of something better and bigger, and it just feels like everything is there, all the ingredients, as it were, and it's like just in the oven waiting for the timer to go off, to go ding. So I really love this energy, and there's this like tranquility and wholeness in that Family card. And maybe that's you as well, wanting that family scene, and family looks different to everyone as well. Not everyone's ideals are the same, but it just feels like that connectivity, that energy of a full heart in whichever way it manifests for you. And that's almost your intention, is setting your sights on it. And there's this, the owl as well is such a beautiful sign of like treasure and a boon. And it's so linked to spirituality, and the dandelion obviously making a wish, and it feels like you're just in that state, that almost Nine of Cups state, that wish card state, where you've got all your emotional ducks in a row. You know what you're worthy of, and you're being vulnerable for it as well in asking for that, and you know that you've got everything you could ever have, want, or need within you. But that is the cherry on top of the cake, this feeling, and it feels like you've just evolved yourself out of those places, and just taken every lesson in your stride, and like I said, nothing's going to break it. So I want to go into some tarot for you now as well, to see what is coming next in love. So let's do this. So if that doesn't feel like that is resonating for you, then do feel free to go, if you are drawn to another pile, to maybe go to that top bit of that pile deck and just have a check-in. But hopefully it is already, especially just, like I said, this is your current energy state. So Spirit, what is coming next for my friend? So we have the Eight of Pentacles, we have the Devil card, we have the Ace of Wands as well. So what's coming next in love for my friend? We have got Death in reverse, and we have got the Five of Pentacles. Obviously, we've just had that one come up as well. So can we clarify the Eight of Pentacles, please? Eight of Cups. The Devil card, can we clarify, please? We've got the Seven of Wands in reverse. Ace of Wands, we've got the Six of Pentacles underneath it. For the Five of Pentacles, okay, we've got two cards in reverse. So we've got the Three of Cups in reverse, and we've also got the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And then with Death in reverse, we have the Four of Wands. Okay, and on the back of the deck we have Strength again. Okay, so Strength again, I feel like vulnerability is a word that I'm hearing, but vulnerability is an innate proof of your strength. If anything, you don't have to be the loudest in the room. There's great strength in your individuality and your authenticity, and that all comes through vulnerability and that love, the love of what you want to have. And I feel like strength for me, it's linked to Leo. So potentially you are a Leo, or you know, if you're not a Leo, maybe you have that in your chart. You don't have to, but I feel like there's great strength in your individuality, and maybe there's going to be things that come up that challenge you, and I can see quite a few challenges, maybe obstacles like we had already for evolution, for even more growth. And you're in this place. I'm so sorry, my neighbours must be drilling. But there's this great strength and vulnerability in yourself, and maybe there's things that come up, but you're learning how to nurture yourself and not like get involved in things you don't need to, and distancing yourself from energy that no longer serves you. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups, it feels like potentially there's a situation, and this may still be the lingering thing from the past, and I feel like maybe the person from the past that we said that door kind of closing on and that maybe you locked, it feels like there's a maybe sort of reconciliation here, or an event that maybe happens that means that it thrusts you back into the past and almost kind of, I'm not saying getting caught up in their energy again, but I think it even validates further why you don't want that energy, why you don't want to go back to that. Because I think it reminds you how much you worked towards it, how much effort you put in, how you met it halfway, and actually how emotionally you weren't satisfied, how you were emotionally stagnating. And there is that call to move on and find something else, to do something else, and really walk away from that emotional energy, which obviously we've already said is where you feel like you're going. And I think this validates it for you even more, this bump in or whatever it is. In terms of a bump in, I mean, with this Four of Wands, there may be an event. Four of Wands can be significant of weddings, or it can just be kind of a celebration of life, so therefore birthdays, like so many events can come up, you know, triumph of will, so, you know, book launches, parties, that kind of thing, whatever. And I think it challenges you in a way, because I think whenever you see someone from your past that those residual feelings are still there for, it feels like the door hasn't fully closed, or like we were saying, maybe it feels locked, but with any door, there's always the keyhole. There's always that one thing, isn't there, that has this kind of what if that we always get caught up in our minds. And I feel like with that Devil card, the kind of illusion of it, that's the thing that comes, and that feeling of realizing that your heart is in a better space when you're not surrounded by that energy, or when you take a step back away, when you're not in the thralls of it. And maybe there's situations where people are saying, oh, what's going on in your love life, and maybe it feels like you want to distance yourself, and Spirit's kind of saying you don't need to get involved in those conversations, especially, and that actually other people kind of chiming in and maybe making a bit of a noise out of this situation. You don't need to kind of fight back, as it were. You don't need to defend your position. You don't need to say why you made those choices. And if it feels like there's imbalance within relationships or stuff like that, or you feel like people are asking about the past too much, don't allow yourself to get caught up in it, because you are, like I said, closing that door on the past. And I think with that, I want to go to the Five of Pentacles, because this feels very kind of new, and I'll kind of talk, it feels like a kind of tipping scales coming towards you. But with that Five of Pentacles, that kind of closed door, I think if you do see them, or maybe you hear a lot about them from other people in a lot of ways, I feel like there is that definite kind of, again, emotional stagnation, and this feeling that actually that energy is something that you don't want to align in. I think it further confirms why you shut that door and why you almost want to put a barricade up towards it. And that is something Spirit's saying, that healthy boundary of not wanting to accept that energy is absolutely fine to do. I think allowing full release and actually realizing that it's something that you don't want to fill yourself up in. You don't want to align yourself with that anymore. Even if you have to see this person or hear of them, you can kind of, it's like in that episode of Sex and the City, and I'm sorry to bring it up, I've just done a massive binge of it. I love it. Charlotte is trying to get pregnant, and there's Bindi von Mufflin, I think her name is, and she is talking about how she became pregnant, and it's like all of this noise basically, and Charlotte's just like, I am blocking out this thing. She's blocked out the city, and she's blocked out all the voices and everything. And it feels like that you are kind of, you can put those defenses up and almost like have that selective hearing to conversations, or like you don't need to be privy and party to it, is what Spirit is saying, if it doesn't emotionally fulfill you anymore. And I think the joy almost of that past, and maybe the hope of reconciliation was more like, oh, we can be friends. But maybe that's the kind of way that you guys left it. But I just don't think there's this emotional fulfillment there with that Three of Cups in reverse. I feel like you don't feel aligned emotionally to this person or to the energy of the person, whether they're present or not. And it just feels like you know now, that happy family card, what energy you are belonging to and what you are deserving of, and the new intentions that you want to set. And it's like, why are you fueling or nurturing a relationship which feels like it's like slowly stagnating, like the winter's going over it, and actually almost as much has grown from it as possible. And it's, you know, the roots are beautiful, colourful. I don't doubt there's a beautiful history there, great shared memories, but if you're holding on to something so much and allowing it to weigh on your heart and mind, as a relationship can be encompassing, and then you allow it to go, then that release is not from the lessons and the experiences shared, but it's from that energy. And actually it's hard to then pick up that energy unless you're looking at it with new eyes. And I don't think there's the position to look at it with new eyes in a lot of ways within this relationship. It feels still a little bit raw, but also that you are just realizing your own internal strength and the things that you want to work on. So with that death in reverse, like maybe there's this feeling of, oh, we can try and be friends, or I can try and be in the same circle of friends or the same sphere and hear about it. But I think overall, whenever you're actually surrounded by your like-minded people, you realize that energy that you are worthy of, and you feel more passionate and fueled and all of those things. So the resistance to let go, like fully, and and all of that stuff. I said obviously about that locking the door, and maybe you haven't fully turned the key yet, but there's that feeling of wanting to. And I think Spirit is saying the sooner that you put up those boundaries and you kind of block out the noise of it, and you block out that energy, and that's not, just blatantly ignoring or anything like that, but it's being selective about the conversations you want to be a part of, or what you actually want to hear, and what you direct your energy towards. Because I feel like this thing, or whoever it was, this situation, it's not deserving of your energy anymore, and it feels like an energy drain whichever way you look around it. And actually it feels like, and I know I skipped past it earlier, but with this Ace of Wands and this Six of Pentacles, it feels like there is, with this ace, a new opportunity or a new flame, a new passion or something, a new opportunity to kind of just do it, to stir up and to create, maybe with someone else, maybe fire sign. Obviously I said that maybe you're a fire sign with the Leo, but Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, there could be. There's no kind of people cards here as in terms of court cards, but with that Ace of Wands energy, it feels fresh, it feels new, it feels like a new direction, something stirring up, like I said, very fortuitous. And with that Six of Pentacles, it feels like something very reciprocated. It's almost news coming in, or new communication coming in, which feels very healthy in terms of give and take, which feels very different from the rest of the cards, which is why I feel like there is almost this, like I say, this tipping scale. It's like you're banishing that past, and the more you allow less weight on it, the more you allow the to like that selective hearing, that blocking out all of those things and closing that door on it, and allowing that rebirth to really emerge and giving this new path the weight that it deserves. And maybe you've had that distance, which is why you had that healthy feeling at the beginning with that evolution and intention, and maybe that's where you are. And I know when I get bogged down in conversations or things about the past, it can really feel like it propels you back to that, like back to a moment. It's like nostalgia, anything. It can really take you back to a place. It's a magical thing, your memory, and how much it attaches to emotions and everything. It can really drag you back there, positive or negative. And I feel like actually what Spirit's saying is, remember, the past is the past. You can still have those memories. It's not like you have to block it out, or the people from your past, but they don't hold as much weight for you in this present moment if you don't want them to. And it feels like there's this new opportunity, which is this kind of future carving out, with this kind of give and take coming in, which feels like the energy that you are wanting and deserving, something reciprocated. I want to explore this a little bit further. I wasn't going to get any more cards for this kind of deck, but I feel like because we've spoken, it came up more about this kind of Five of Pentacles, I want to look more at that Ace of Wands opportunity, that kind of injection for that kind of just do it kind of momentum forwards. So I feel like you guys are deserving of that, because obviously we're looking at what's next in love. So I don't want to focus too much on the past, even though, like I said, the past is important for us to learn from, to accept. And I feel like that's already the energy that you want and need. I think those lessons just there were from spirit to just say, like, there may be situations that you may get dragged into. You may have bump-ins, you may reconcile in some way, or you may have tried, like, you're maybe trying to be friends, and it's not that you don't need to do that, but at the moment there's other things for you to focus on and to pay attention to, and that's yourself. So let's look at that Ace of Wands, Six of Pentacles opportunity. So that Page of Swords in reverse. Okay. We have got the Ten of Cups. We have got, I thought you were down. We've got the Nine of Swords in reverse as well. We have got the Three of Cups. So interestingly, we had the Three of Cups in reverse earlier underneath that. Okay, so we've also got the Queen of Cups too. So let's get one for the Page of Swords in reverse. We have got the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, and we have got the Four of Pentacles for the Ten of Cups. Let's look at the Nine of Swords in reverse. We've got the Seven of Cups. We have got the Four of Cups with the Three of Cups. Okay, so this looks more like the emotions. And we have got the Knight of Wands as well for the Queen of Cups. Okay, interesting. And on the back, we've got the Sun card. Okay, so this feels much more like the clarity, the vitality, the joy that we were hoping to connect with at the beginning, like the love, essentially. And it's important to say that, and this is why I felt called to give you guys more cards, the kind of the dark edges, like we were just talking about, like the past and the confusion, the Sun dispels that and brings a light to it. And that is clarity and wisdom and that full lucid feeling. But it's so important to realize that those shadows, those past experiences, the things that we have to work through are they're important to our growth. And they are a part of things. You know, the Sun sheds light on everything. So I use tarot as a tool for self-exploration, and that's why it's so important to look at that and discuss those things so deeply about your past, so you can learn from it, accept it, and move on. And I feel like we've already said, and I'm so admiring of you and your kind of evolution, as it were, but also your just general energy towards love, despite what has happened. And I think with that Page of Swords in reverse with the Knight of Pentacles, potentially, so we've got court cards now, so I've got more of a picture of who these people may be, or who you may be as well. But the Page of Swords, I feel like in reverse, is probably that past relationship. They don't have to be an air sign, but they could be an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. But I get the sense that it is someone who was quite immature in the way that they were communicating, in the way that they were talking and thinking. And it's almost like a bit playing games in a way. And maybe they there's this kind of, sometimes a little bit of an ego to the Page of Swords as well, but there's this kind of like arrogance and kind of confidence, and maybe they are really a confident thinker and those kind of things, but maybe they enjoy being quite quick-witted and using their words, and it sounds like they're talking a big talk, but maybe they don't walk that walk in a way. And I don't want to talk too much about that past, but if that was the person that the situation that you felt yourself in. Or it could just be, if they're not those person, maybe they're a really lovely person and everything, maybe they just were a little bit shocking with their communication and left a lot in the dark, sort of thing, in terms of how they were feeling and stuff. But this new energy coming in, and I said Six of Pentacles earlier, that kind of give and take, and the Knight of Pentacles feels, it could be an earth sign, and I feel like this is what Spirit's directing towards, or that energy of, they don't have to be an earth sign, a Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn, but they could have those placements in their chart. I feel like it's just someone who is very much directed in terms of their communication and their physical world, in terms of they are mature, they are quite persistent, they are just there. Just a gradual source of energy. Someone who is always going to meet it halfway. Again, and a messenger. Someone who's got really steady approach. Who just feels very stable and nurturing, and is very dependable. Is what I'm hearing. Someone who knows what they're working towards. Knows what goals they've got set in their mind. Have their own intentions. And obviously, you were all in that energy of intentions, and maybe you're manifesting, or maybe you've got stuff that you're going towards as well. And this person, I feel like, matches that energy of knowing what their guiding star is, as it were, and working the hours it needs to put in towards it. And I feel like with this Ten of Cups energy, with this Four of Pentacles, it allows you to feel less about the kind of physical world of everything around you and what you're building, and allowing that to weigh on your mind and heart and body and soul, but actually aligning to that energy of love. And maybe you've been throwing yourself, like, because you've been working on yourself, maybe you've been throwing yourself into work, or into you know, school or education, and kind of skilling yourself, as it were. But I feel like this is your time to kind of obviously really keep that nutrients and stuff, and everything that you're learning and everything that you want, you're getting. But it's the emotional stuff. It's not the physical attributes. And that's what I think Spirit is saying, is that I think this relationship is not something that you have to like claw onto in a way. I think it leaves you in a space that or just this connection. It doesn't have to necessarily be relationship. I feel like it's just this connection allows you to align to that energy of love in a lot of ways. And I think the fears and anxieties of the past, that kind of state, and I think you'll be able to share a lot and show your vulnerability, and know that there's great strength in that. And I think it's one of those connections where no matter how long it lasts, it feels like you're really allowing yourself to let your guard down. And there's this, like I said, this give and take in terms of reciprocation and communication. So it feels like you can be open and honest and transparent, and I think really pull apart what it is that you want emotionally, because I think at the moment maybe there's that feeling of there's so much you want to do or see or be, and it's your opportunity to listen to yourself. And I think have an ear with someone who will listen to that and wants to know every kind of facet of who you are, and really kind of bigs up your achievements in a way, because and I think they're able to do the same. And this definitely feels like a soul connection in the way of that Three of Cups, which was obviously in reverse when we looked before about that feeling of connectivity, how you potentially wouldn't feel that in situations going forward where talk of the past maybe came up. But there feels like this real healing and solace and festivity after kind of all of that, and just this real connectivity and surrounding yourself with someone that you want to be more like, that energy. And I think that both challenges you, because both people are whole people, I think, and it's really focusing, and Spirit is kind of reconfirming on the new emotional opportunities coming your way, instead of looking at what wasn't there from the past. That's almost where it kind of comes out from, is that feeling of, what I'm seeing is like, we were talking about that celebration, people kind of all gathering together, and it's almost like if you turned around when you were in that setting of like people talking about the past, the energy that you didn't really want to be in, it's almost like it's turning around, it's one of those cheesy scenes, and then someone new completely there who gives you all of those things. It's like potentially they are in the background of your life already, or will be in that way, and it's the energy that almost you know that you are deserving of, but you least expect to come in when it does. But I think it feels like that just initial joy and liberation of the chains of the past in a lot of ways. And I think both people are very ambitious and want to find their joy, want to find that sun, that equilibrium, that harmony energy, and I think it's just going to challenge both people to find it even more. And then lastly, we've got the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Wands. So I feel like Spirit is saying with these cards that this connection, like I said, I don't have a timeline for like how long it may last, whether it will be, you know, the love of your life and everything like that. But I think it's energy which, like I said, reciprocates and aligns you to this full heart and this connectivity, and allows you to feel like you fully release old patterns and old ways of thinking and open up to new possibilities. But I think it really gives you that that healing and that nurturing of self in a lot of ways, and this impulsive desire to go after new things, and to, again, we've got Knight of Wands, Leo. So if you are a fire sign, then Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, I think it just propels you forward, propels you into this passionate, excited state where you follow your intuition and your instincts even more. And with that Queen of Cups, really open up your heart and really follow it to its heart's truest desires. So I think it is aligning to that energy, that intention that you wanted, that feeling of that strength, of knowing your worth, and it's energy which is healthy and, like I said, nurturing, and it feels completely different. It feels like openness and receptiveness to everything, and it aligns with that the kind of energy we were talking of other things coming towards you, whether that be in your home, your career, all that life that was aligning you to a path which you felt were your truest heart's intentions, that path to love. And I feel like that's where you are in terms of what's coming next in love. If you feel like you move away from those past situations and allow them to hold less weight, and know exactly, and feel like, because I feel like you know, but there's that difference. Like, it's sometimes like seeing is believing for a lot of people, and actions, they prove a point more than words usually do. And it feels like the actions of getting energy which bombards you with that love, which makes you feel all of those things, which tells you that you have so much going for you, that you are worthy and you are connected, and you know, you are mesmerizing and all of these things, you are beautiful. It makes you feel it, and it makes you know that you deserve it even more. And I think this is the energy coming towards you, this connection coming towards you. And when you focus on when you focus on what you are trying to do, which is setting those intentions and focusing on your path forward, all those things that you know you need to do. So just don't allow the illusion of that devil to get caught up in past entanglements and past energy to stagnate you, because you know that you're naturally releasing that and naturally letting go from that. And yeah, really put yourself first. That's self-love, because I feel like this person within this connection is their own wholeness as well. And that's it. Really, when it comes to love, is two whole people being a sprinkle or a cherry on top of the cake for the in the other person's life, but you focus on your own wholeness and what you want to achieve. And I think this even propels you to do that further and challenges you in that way. So it's beautiful, beautiful energy coming up. And lastly, what I want to do is I want to get you some affirmator cards as well. I'm so sorry about the drilling. This happened to me the other day when I was filming as well, and I literally never hear them drill outside of when I'm filming. So there we go. And it's so interesting. Our first card is self-worth, which is what we've been saying. So I cast off all concerns about what people think of me. I know I'm totally kick-ass person, and my kick-assness can never be diminished by rejection. So people can think what they think and feel what they feel. In the meantime, I'll just keep on knowing what I know without thinking about what they are thinking about what I already know, I think. So there's that feeling of, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about your past connection, how you've been like in love before. All you need to know is how kick-ass you really are, and that what you are deserving of. And those people that know you and know you really well and know what you are deserving of flock around you and want to see your achievements and listen to you. And the people, I want to say the moths, as it were, the people that are drawn to your light but just kind of watch it and maybe drain it, those people who have opinions or feel like they mutter stuff or whatever. They can think and feel what they want, but that's not on you. That is completely on them. And it's almost like that water off a duck's back energy, which I'm getting, which I feel like is what Spirit's asking you to be like, is to have that integrity of yourself, that strength within yourself, of knowing that you don't need to get involved in those conversations. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone or anything. You are where you're going now, and it doesn't actually matter what anyone else thinks. As long as you have that strong sense of self, other people are going to be inspired by that and get drawn to you in the right way. We've got tact. I speak and act with care, remembering that impulsive words or a harsh tone can sometimes hurt others. If it feels like I'm walking on eggshells, I'll remind myself that those eggshells might actually be a shop full of china, and I might actually be a bull. Then I'll remind myself to stop mixing metaphors. So again, this very similar, which is why I'm glad I got this new spread of kind of, this feels like the what's coming next in love. But I think the other was so important in terms of these cards with this tact of situations may feel like they draw you in, people may feel like they draw you in, and you may feel like you have to step around a situation, protect the other person's feelings or whatever it is, but you can have that kind of that tactfulness in the selective hearing, and knowing that you don't need to get involved with those things, and people in situations can be quite fragile, and you have to sometimes bite your tongue and all of those things. But it's actually allowing yourself not to get wrapped up in energy that you don't need to, because you remember that those being like that, being forceful or feeling defensive, actually it burns you out in the end, and you actually don't need to be there. And the high road can be really hard sometimes to tread, to bite your tongue, especially if you know what your self-worth is and you know that you don't deserve that. But there's that kind of energy of, why fight battles with those moths, with those people that don't fuel you, with those people that actually show their true colours in a way? You know what you are deserving of. So we've also got boundless love. Today I'll open my eyes a little wider and I'll walk a little taller, noticing that the world around me is filled with tiny miracles. With this in mind, it's easy to fall in love over and over again, and everything from honeybees to neon signs. And while I'm feeling this inspired and this in love, everything else sort of falls into place. So I think it is and this is the energy that I feel like you're in and going towards, is this feeling of seeing those opportunities, those possibilities, and having that open-mindedness and falling in love with everything and everyone in your life that aligns you to that energy and makes you feel that good feeling and feels inspired. And by stepping away from those situations, by taking almost that higher ground, that higher perspective of things, and walking taller in yourself, everything, all those fragile situations that you have to tiptoe around, they take less weight, and you realize that you don't need to get involved because you're having that energy shift. You're having energy shift to looking for the possibilities. And I think you know what you're deserving of deep down, and it feels like you're already going through that state. And that energy of love, keep aligning yourself to that, keep looking up. Your head's not in the clouds. You're not daydreaming about it. You know what you're worthy of, and that's the main thing. It's not a daydream, that self-worth or that feeling of wholeness. You are already that, and you're already on your path by picking love to your highest good and to your highest inspired self. So yeah, keep choosing that way, no matter what tries to draw you in, or no matter who tries to draw you into situations. So my glorious friends of pile 1, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. I really hope the advice was useful. I hope it resonated with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I loved reading your cards today. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I'm sending so much love. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 2. So if you picked the True North tarot deck with the amethyst butterfly, then this reading is going to be for you. So at the top, like I said in the intro, we are going to look at your current energy towards love, your mental and your kind of emotional state. So we've got some oracle cards, and I'll get some tarot cards as well. So we have got Door to Romance, we have got Into the Unknown, we have got Cooperation. In your quest to manifest the energy of love, you realize that every person and experience has value. And we also have Balance. Remain composed, for your inner world is reflected into your surroundings. Equilibrium, center, and serenity. So there is this beautiful energy here of this Door to Romance. Obviously is very interesting considering we're doing a love reading, and it feels like it's almost plunging you into this kind of unknown space, which maybe it's feeling like it's throwing you a bit off kilter, but really there is that equilibrium and that center. So I feel like there is this like knowing of deservedness, but it feels like I want to say you almost don't want to be too hopeful in a way, but you know that you deserve this energy of love, and you know that every experience coming towards you is an experience and an opportunity to delve into love, whether that's a love of a new person, just of friends, or whatever it is. But I feel like maybe this feels different this time, this person that may have creeped into your life, or people potentially, and maybe it feels like it's blindsided you a bit with this Into the Unknown. Maybe you weren't expecting it at this time, but you're trying to like kind of stay composed. But it's really like Spirit saying with this card, everything that you are bringing towards you is the energy from within as well, and it's being reflected from your inner world. So if like love is coming to you, or you feel like romance is blooming with someone or something, it's almost that romance for yourself, and knowing that you are deserving of it and that energy, and you're almost you know that those feelings take cooperation, take co-creation with someone else to like kind of bring that into you. But yeah, it feels like with this butterfly obviously as well, this kind of emergence into something new. So gonna get some more. So we've got the Three of Wands. Okay, I love the Three of Wands. Firstly, we have got the Magician. Great. We have got the Five of Swords. Oh, this is so beautiful. We've got another butterfly on here as well. So I was going to kind of say butterflies obviously as King of Cups and Page of Cups too. And they're like beautiful symbols of transformation and rebirth. And this feels like this kind of energy coming forward. And okay, I don't even know where to start. I've got this big smile on my face. With this Three of Wands, it feels like it's got a little shamrock on the top, and it really does feel like love is on your side, like luck is on your side. Sorry, love is on your side and luck is on your side. But I feel like love is within your arsenal in a lot of ways. And I feel like it's just calling to you, because we've become that which we surround ourselves. And I feel like you've been surrounding yourself with that energy of love, and you've like been balancing your center and finding that and that love of self, and that's just manifesting in your reality, which I think is what may be throwing you into the unknown a bit. And it really feels like you've risen out of situations of, you've realized you've not lost the war, even if you've lost battles along the way. When it comes to love, every experience has made you grow stronger and has made you think differently, but ultimately it has thrown you even further onto the path and the energy that you know that you are deserving of. And it's so funny that we have quest to manifest, and we have got so much about manifestation that I'm being called to. And it feels like you maybe you've been doing your manifestations, maybe you've been doing your affirmations for love, and maybe everything is kind of coming. And maybe you were on this kind of precipice of knowing that that ship was coming in for you, that your next thing was there, and you knew that you were meeting it halfway, that you were being open and receptive to that energy, you were co-creating and making it. But it feels like everything is almost ruptured, and it's like here now, and it's almost arrived, like knocking at your door. And this is beautiful. It's that active waiting energy, which is now feeling like you can step forward into it. And this is all through you kind of knowing what you want internally, speaking it and making actions towards it with that Magician card. It is that physical manifestor of your willpower, your courage, your determination, knowing that you are deserving of it, knowing that you are rising up out of situations and away into new energy, has allowed this to come towards you. And we've got the King of Cups, and we've also got the Page of Cups here. So I feel heavy water energy. So maybe you, or maybe this new person that may have come onto the scene, could be a water sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces potentially. But it feels like there is this beautiful balance between this playful kind of emotional energy and this kind of unformed feeling that's maybe stirring up with this door to romance. In your kind of current state, but also this deep sense of emotional maturity. And it's not a weight, it's actually an acceptance and a kind of, you're really fully established in your feelings and know what you're deserving of, but you're looking at the world with these fresh, curious eyes and like this childlike joy, and seeing people as that, as an experience and a value. And you've accumulated much already, but you know that there is so much more to be curious of, and it feels really like you feel guided by spirit and the universe at the moment through, I think, manifestations as well. And maybe this person that's come in feels like a real emotional, mature equal in a lot of ways. Like I'm hearing emotional anchor, like is very anchored in, not that they're you know, like they've got these deep emotions, but they've got this real great clarity too, like being able to use both their head and their heart and know that both have weight. But yeah, I think generally your energy is this excitement of what's coming next and what is on the horizon, which is obviously why you're here as well, I know. But there is this kind of knowing that it's at your fingertips, and maybe that it's already burst open, or there's already something emerging, or someone kind of emerging onto the scene. So this is kind of, it can bring up fear. And that's that into the unknown, that fearfulness. But like obviously Into the Unknown, everyone's favourite song from Frozen 2. Come on guys, we've got to be serious. There's some great bangers in there, but let's be honest. It does feel like something is calling to you, that you know that it's there, and it can bring up fear, but the unknown is exciting, it's fresh. And so I feel like there is almost no residual energy from the past holding you back. It feels like you are fully awake to the present and to the therefore the future of like making things for the future. It's like whatever door on the past, you're like, I don't want it anymore. Like, I'm stepping out of that security. And yes, it can be all of those things, but it's like happiness is right around the corner is what I'm hearing, and as in that's how you feel in that energy. And yeah, I think there's deep emotional depths that you want to climb to, but also you're kind of in this real like I said, childlike joy, this kind of dreamer visionary state where things are starting to manifest, especially that energy of love around you, maybe like new love interest coming in, or maybe you're just feeling like with this beautiful butterfly that you are feeling like you are the center, like you are feeling balanced and composed within yourself, and that's kind of starting to reflect and bring new opportunities and experiences to you. So this is super exciting energy. So I want to delve into your tarot for what's coming next. If you don't feel like this kind of resonates with where you currently are at, then do feel free to pick another pile if you were drawn to another one, but stick around if it did feel like it resonated. So let's have a look-see. So what is coming next in love for my friend? So we have got the Moon, we have got the Nine of Wands, Spirit, what is coming next for pile 2 in love? We have got the Six of Swords, we have got the Queen of Cups. Okay, so we've got even more cups energy, so water energy coming at us. So I get, oh no, that's coin, sorry. Okay, well, we've got Earth as well. But it's so funny that I said cups. I feel cups energy coming around the mountain when they come. Okay, we've got the Seven of Cups there. So let's clarify the Moon, please, Spirit, for this reading. We have got the Two of Wands in reverse. I literally just heard as well, I'm never going back, the past is in the past, which is obviously another Elsa song, Let It Go. Maybe I'm just in that state. Maybe she's Maybelline. I don't know. What are you saying, Anna? But no, I think there is that definite kind of like completely I want something fresh, I want something new energy here. Okay. And we've got Temperance. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know if Temperance is going to fit. Let's just... There we go. You can go there and live there. So I feel like this is super interesting, because obviously we have that alignment with the energy of what you know you want and what you deserve. And it feels like with the Moon and the Two of Wands that it is really that the energy of the past, that darkness, it feels like there is that light almost at the end of the tunnel. And maybe it feels like it's maybe it feels in your mind like a momentous thing, you reaching that peak in the mountain, but you know that you're going to get there. And maybe it's less so much about, and I think this is what Spirit is stressing, and maybe what you've been finding as well, it's less about the what's physically there in front of you. Like, it doesn't matter how many dates you go on, or whether you like whatever, how many people you're talking to and stuff. It's actually that feeling that you're getting, that looking forward. And maybe there's this kind of indecisiveness towards someone. Maybe potentially you're kind of off, like thrown off guard a bit with their energy. Maybe you don't know whether they are like a friend or a foe in a way. Maybe they remind you quite heavily of someone from the past, and obviously you're trying to move away from that energy, so it's almost like you're trying to distance yourself so far. But it feels like there is this kind of unveiling in a lot of ways, and there's this feeling that you need to make a decision, and it feels like you already are into that unknown state, into that door to romance. And Spirit is saying, I think this person, you have your guard up for, and people have guards and boundaries for numerous amount of reasons in a lot of ways. And I actually feel like you could have two options on the table coming up. For quite a lot of people. Some people, it might just be that between the past and the future, but I get maybe these are opportunities because we've got 2 of Wands in reverse and also the 2 of Coins, but it feels like there is only really one choice. And I think what Spirit is saying is maybe, I think there's this general feeling that maybe you feel like you've been on your own. You're sick of being on your own, maybe, that you're ready to emerge, you're ready to come out of this state, and you're ready to open yourself up to new opportunities. Maybe you feel like you've been in hermit mode for too long, and it served a purpose of gathering your strength and your energy and ready for anything when it comes to love and really bolstering you up and everything. But there's this feeling that actually now you can unveil yourself to the world in a lot of ways with this 9 of Cups, that you can allow your guard to be down and to let new energy in and new people in. And it really feels like this, what Spirit is saying is that opportunities are coming for you, that you've got so many experiences already on your road to it, and it feels like you are really leaving that baggage behind on the shore, and you're not going to get caught up in the noise of what everyone else needs, wants, has, every other person's wills and desires. And actually, you can see that window of opportunity, and whether you build your own raft and you get yourself out of there, or whether someone comes along and like kind of shocks you into this movement forward, it feels like that's where it's going. And maybe you don't know whether you can trust these people or person, and there feels like there's a little bit of a mystery because maybe the past has taught you that, you know, you need to to have your guard up, to not think too quickly, or those kind of things. Or maybe it makes you feel like you overthink. But I feel like that living nightmare of allowing other people's fears and anxieties to get on top of you, of the, should I text this person now? Should I wait an hour? All of those things, I think you're just like, I cannot be bothered with that bull anymore. And actually, I think that's why your natural defensiveness, which feels like it may go up, especially with that into the unknown state, that feeling of feeling off balance, that's when our natural walls come up, or our natural fears start to creep up. Actually, I feel like you're going to like sit on top of them with this Queen of Coins and really almost nurture yourself and know that you've grown so much like beauty in your life, and actually you are deserving of more. And it's instead of the shoulds of what I should do, of what I shouldn't do. And this is the thing, especially if like there are multiple options on the table, and like I said, I do see that. I feel like it doesn't matter what everybody else says and thinks about the situation. It's all about your internal sense of self, is what Spirit is saying. It's all about what you think and feel, and what emotional opportunities you believe you have, and of what you actually want in your truest heart's desires. It's fun to date, it's fun to meet new people, all of those things, but there are very few people that we will allow to see, especially in conversation and when we're talking, the like a little bit of truth about ourselves, like instead of like the social mask that we wear. And I feel like Spirit is saying, like, maybe you'll be going on series of dates, maybe you will like be talking to a few people, but I feel like there's almost one or two, and maybe that's why that door to romance, maybe I feel like it's one in particular who feels like very like that emotional anchor, like I was saying, someone who kind of draws something out of you, still makes you feel excited and giddy and all of those things, those feelings of curiosity, but gets that kind of emotional, like it makes you want to release a bit of your guard and really feel like it propels you into a new energy, a different energy, and that's maybe where it feels unknown and exciting. And I think Queen of Coins, potentially you are an earth sign, or maybe they are, or maybe you have a mixture of water and earth in your chart. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. You don't have to, but I think this is really you realizing that you've grown so much, you've got so much behind you, so many experiences behind you, and actually you can conquer those fears and anxieties that come up if they do, because you have that sense of self, but also you can differentiate between what is actually your fear and anxiety and talk to it in a really healthy way and nurture yourself and say, it's okay that you're feeling this, it's all right, this happens. And really kind of soothe yourself and keep growing, and knowing that those thoughts you can untangle yourself from and move away from, and you don't need to get caught up in the noise of what everyone else is doing. Because I feel like you had that hermit mode of being with yourself, and it's almost like you can have that kind of pep talk with yourself, being like, okay, it's scary letting your guard down, but this person, the energy feels right, and that's the thing. And internally we know the energy feels right, and you can share. But Spirit is saying, I think, if you feel, and I think you will have these options with this Two of Coins, but I feel there's really one that really sits right, like one opportunity which really feels like it's the one that you want to go for. And there's always that feeling of when we've got two things potentially on the table, we kind of want to delay the decision, or we're like, I'm not really sure, this one is my head, this one's my heart, all of those things. But there is one, when you take out the illusion and the what ifs and look at everything that we want and the shoulds, when we take out that should and we actually feel it, and we know what we want and we know what we are deserving of, and that's really what the Queen of Coins is that banishing all of those should directives and saying, okay, what do I actually want my life to be? What emotional thing do I want? What do I want to open up to? Who do I want to be? And who supports that? It's two whole people, remember, a relationship, and you don't have to, like, the compromise, you should never compromise on what you want to be. And I think with that Seven of Cups, even if it feels like there's options on the table, there's big dreams and desires that you can see, or like so many possibilities and roads that you may want to go down, it feels like the one that you want, that feeling of love, and your quest to find and manifest that, like we were talking about, that door to romance, it feels like there is truly that one, the one that makes that childlike joy sing in your heart. It feels like that's the clear option for you, and you know that is, and I think it's that feeling, and I can't say which one it's going to be and all of those things, but I think it's the one that really makes you feel, and I keep saying childlike glee, the one that makes you feel like a kind of the first love, like it really opens yourself up to fresh new eyes, even though you've got all of these great emotional experiences behind you, and potentially thoughts about the past and previous patterns, maybe a previous type, or whatever it is. This just feels like, even if this person does fit into that, it feels completely new and fresh and alive. And it takes you off guard, which is why it feels like into the unknown. And with this Temperance card as well, I feel like this is this kind of like tranquility after the storm with this Temperance card, like that rainbow, but it's really this sense of kind of wholeness and feeling like you're balancing out and moderating everything within your life, becoming that alchemist. And I think this is really an opportunity, and what's coming up in love is this feeling that you, with your emotions, you're able to nurture and dispel those feelings of anxiety and fear, like bringing those like those elements within yourself and being able to identify it, which is such a massive thing. And it's one of, like, really understanding your truth and understanding the fears and anxieties that creep up, the situations that don't make you feel glad, or the energy that you don't want to align with. By identifying that, you therefore know what you are worthy of choosing and worthy of picking. And I think that makes this decision of the Two of Coins even easier to make, to find that joy and that clarity. But like I said, there is this peace, there is this tranquility and harmony, and this reconciling of opposites. All that fear and the worries and the doubts or anything like that come up, this is really the opportunity to address it and see emotionally and know emotionally what you are now deserving of. And I think Spirit is saying, I think, you know, if you have options on the table, if there is someone kind of awakening you to those feelings, feel free to explore. Be playful, be like, approach it with that childlike joy and curiosity, like I feel like you want to do, and know that things will come together, that you are the alchemist of your life. You make your decisions. No one can make those things for you, even if people have a lot of opinions on who it may be and that kind of thing. And it's great to talk about it and have fun with it and you know, debrief all of those things. But you know emotionally what is right for you, what energy sits right with you, and who is actually opening you up and kind of identifying. And I feel like I'm hearing this person almost calls you out, but in a really good way, like sees you so plainly, like one of the people sees you so plainly that it's almost scary. And it's almost like they can identify so much within you because they've gone through similar things, or they are just in that emotional mature state where they can say it to you as they see it, as they can, and they just, it's so unnerving, that energy, that kind of transparency and feeling like someone can see into your depth, in a way, like into the depths of your soul. And I think that pierces through the illusion for you and all the fairy favors of, oh, we could do this, we could go there, and like the other excitement of dating and that kind of thing, and really gets to the truth. And like I said, that can be really unnerving. It can bring up fear and anxiety because someone is seeing you plainly. But there's that kind of meshing is what I'm hearing. That feeling of, actually, it's not that they know my past and can call me out my past or anything like that, but actually they see me for the person that I am now, despite all of those things, and know and can see the potential and where it is that I want to go, and the future of what I want, as opposed to all of the baggage. Is that, I feel like I'm like, it's making sense to me, but I hope it's translating, like that you, no matter what's coming from the past, like that's baggage that they don't need to get involved in. That's a closed chapter that doesn't involve them. That's almost like that's almost none of their business unless you choose to share it. And actually they're so much more interested in you in the future and you now in the present moment, and what it is that who you want to be and who you are, that the other stuff doesn't matter. And I think that's what's quite disarming about the energy coming towards you. And that can be exciting but confronting. So yeah, but I do feel like there are options on the table for you, but obviously you have free will. You choose in your life, and you make those decisions. But I think you know that you don't want to be in this hermit mode anymore. But through that hermit mode, like kind of that time for self-realization and blocking out the external, you've cultivated a really great relationship with your inner guidance and your inner light. So trust it, trust your emotions and follow your heart in this situation, and know that that is true. no matter what options come up or things that are said or opportunities that may be given, you'll know what sits right. So I want to get some affirmators as well to finish off. So, okay. Oh no, one under the sofa. Ah, okay. Oh no. I'm trying to get it from under the carpet. Oh, okay. I think that's lost. I don't think it's lost forever, but for fear of, the delaying this reading by 500 years, I'll shuffle new cards and get different ones. Maybe I wasn't supposed to actually find that one. Okay. Perfect match. Congratulations, you've gotten your and everyone else's wish. This is an auspicious sign that a healthy, authentic relationship is either here or on its way. There is a sort of relationship where you don't have to compromise, settle, sell out, or otherwise be a non-you. This is a relationship anchored in truth and love that neither party will have to hide their farts from. Smells like a special duo. So this is the kind of thing that I was saying, like, you finding this emotional anchor where you don't have to, like, they see the real you, they see what it is that you want to be, and you don't need to compromise things, and that's beautiful and it's authentic and healthy. So don't worry about the noise of anything else that might be going on, even if you are dating other people and that kind of thing, because this energy, it's one of those energies which is so kind of like takes you by storm, as it were, that it's not going to, you'll recognize it when you see it. So don't be like, oh, but if I'm dating a lot of people, how will I know that it's that feeling of you will know it. Is what I'm hearing. Spirit's like, just don't worry about it. You'll know it. It's with that into the unknown card. Even if you feel blinded to who it might be, like, it's that propelling of feeling, that inner knowing, and trust your inner guidance with it, that your intuition will tell you. And maybe ask for signs if you're really not sure. I love asking for signs from the universe and your guides as well, and say, like, give me a sign, just ask for it. We've got solidarity. I respect the power of solidarity and I look for opportunities to unleash it. When a loved one has to do something tough, I'll heed their often silent but sometimes loud and whiny call and participate in the toughness with them. Everything is easier when a partner, cohort, sidekick joins you. The only thing that's not easier is feeling resentment, which I suppose is the overall point. So we obviously talked about solidarity in the Hermit in reverse card and kind of moving away from it. And when you've got other people, like, that's great for finding your authentic light and all of those things and the feelings that you are deserving of. But when you are putting yourself out there and those kind of things, and finding affinity with others as well, you see that every experience has that value, like you had with that cooperation card. But don't allow yourself to feel like you have to do all of those things, that you have to be out all the time, or you have to drain your energy, because that's when you feel resentment and you want more of your own time. Like, balance it out, and know that you don't have to, just because the Hermit card came up and it's like, oh, maybe there's that feeling of, you've been on your own, or you've been like just focusing on your own stuff. It's that moderation, everything in moderation. Keep making sure that you take time and energy for yourself, no matter what. We've got teamwork. I'm determined to be a good teammate in all of my relationships. If we disagree, I'll resist the urge to place blame and look for a way to solve the problem together. When we're a team, everything is a game. And when we're on the same side, nobody can lose, not even the Cubs, finally. So, yeah, for fear of being really cheesy, which I realise I've been a lot during this pile, so I'm super sorry. Teamwork makes the dream work, and whether that's in any sort of relationship, and there's always a way to solve a problem and all of those things together. And I feel like this is your spiritual team calling to you in a way. Like, together we are gonna, like, you've already kind of, I feel like maybe you've been like I was saying about manifesting and those kind of things before. Maybe you've already been in touch with your spirit guides or your team around you, and just know that you've got this wealth. This universe is wanting to give all these gifts to you and to help you along the way. And any problem that comes up, anything you need to solve, ask the questions and know that the answers will come to you, whether it's quickly or whether it takes a little bit more time, maybe in the most unexpected of ways, but they will come. Trust that it will. And treat everything like a new opportunity, like we were saying, new opportunity for love. And there's nothing that you can't solve when you have that feeling of togetherness, that you feel that you are supported. And also, like we were kind of saying, with the noise of other people, and it's great to like talk about what's going on in love and all of those things. Have that excitement, talk to people, say you've been going on dates or whatever it is, find that excitement, but know that your internal compass and your team behind you, when you're working with them, everything is fun, everything feels like there's all these possibilities and these moments for pure joy. And when you've got that feeling of togetherness, even if it feels like something doesn't work out, you still feel that joy of feeling connected to friends, but also to your spiritual team. So my glorious friends of pile 2, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really hope it resonated with you. This is super exciting. I'm excited for you. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. I've absolutely loved it. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 3. So if you pick the Synesthesia Tarot deck and the Crinoline Pebble, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, I am going to do an energy check-in with you when it comes to love. So mental, emotional state, that kind of thing. So you can check that it resonates. So we have got financial constraints. We have got field of dreams. We have got trust. You have a strong connection to your soul's loving voice and have faith in your intuition. And we also have planning. The situation requires detailed analysis, groundwork, blueprints, preparation. So we'll then get some tarot cards as well to kind of give a little bit more context too. So we have the 6 of Cups. We have the 4 of Cups. We have got Temperance. Ooh. We have got 8 of Pentacles, and we also have 7 of Wands too. So I feel like when it comes to love, I feel like you've been putting your effort in. No one can say that you haven't tried when it comes to it, as in terms of meeting it halfway, that is. I feel like there is a feeling with this financial constraints that you have put effort in with this 8 of Pentacles. You've been dedicated, you've been persistent, you've tried your damn best with whoever you like, when it comes to dates or the planning around it, going out, like trying to meet it halfway, like whether you're on dating apps or that kind of things. But it feels like, or whether you've been in relationships in the past, you've given it your best and you've done your best, but you've just never felt, I think with that financial constraint, it feels like you've expended all the energy that you feel like you can with it in a way. Like, you know that you're still hopeful and you know that you're still deserving of all of those things, but it feels like you feel a little bit empty at the moment. And that's not saying that you're empty of love, because no, you're such a capacity for love, and there's so much trust here and there's so much faith. And with this Field of Dreams card, it feels like you're sitting on it, you are, but there is just this general frustration of, I don't have anything left to give, I can't think of another way to try and make it work, is what I'm hearing. And like, you've been planning, you've tried to to do all those things, like I said, and it's frustrating as hell. But despite all of those feelings, those pangs of, oh, like I'm feeling really up against it and feeling defensive, maybe even on the back foot, and maybe with this Seven of Wands, you see all those people around you potentially in relationships or all of those things, and you're not, there may be this thing of like a little bit of envy, but not in a bad way. You feel so wonderful to all of them, that you know that they have all of those things, but maybe they have a lot of opinions. Maybe they're like, oh, you should try dating apps, you should try this, you should try that. And actually, I think you're just sick and tired of saying the same thing over again and having people, like, it feels like they're not listening to you. Like, you are hopeful, you're fine, you're all of those things, and you're bringing everything into yourself, and knowing that you have faith in what is coming about. But I think you're done talking about it in a way, or it's this frustrating space where I feel like you want to step away from those situations, that you are a light and you don't need to get involved in the nitty-gritty anymore of all the different options that people are saying that you have and all of those things. Like with that Field of Dreams, I feel like you've kind of just come to this point now of stillness and acceptance and trust. Like, you are meeting it, you are doing everything you can in order to meet that. And now it feels like, you know, you've got this great, I think with this Six of Cups, this great community around you who emotionally fulfills you, all of those things. I think you've got great like memories of the past, maybe great emotional fulfillment within relationships, all of those things. But there's this feeling of you're happy with your lot and you are grateful, but you're waiting for that new opportunity to come towards you. But there's this feeling that you are trying to draw everything you can instead of externally into yourself, because you know that you've tried stuff, you've tried to be there, and you're still being open and receptive. You're not closing yourself off completely, but you know that you can't give your energy to this and continue to talk about it all the time and feel like you are talking about it to everyone all of the time, and draining your resources away from you. It feels like you're still hopeful, you'll still be looking for those opportunities when they come, but you need to like kind of sit with yourself for a while and know that those things are happening, and maybe setting those intentions, whether that's manifestations and that trust. And it feels like that's from a place of love, like that's what your soul is calling you to do, is to focus less on the trying part of it. And this is not saying like there's this desperation here. No, it's just knowing that you are deserving of it and all of those things, and it's okay to want that and want that energy and all of those and everything that comes with. But I think you've done your best, and you can honestly say that to yourself, that you have put yourself out there, that you have tried, and it's nothing has made you want to give up your independence, is what I'm hearing, or nothing, like it's, you don't want to compromise yourself, and you know that those things are coming to you, and it's like you are just hoping and waiting for it to come in. There's that knowing feeling like that is coming your way, and you've just got to trust that you are on the right path, and you just got to keep looking after yourself and pouring instead of the energy out inward is the feeling that I'm getting. But it does feel like there's frustration in some way of like, I've tried everything, so I need to just look after myself now. And maybe people don't get that. Maybe they're like, oh, you're not on the dating apps as much, or oh, why don't you want to see that person again? But you just know what is for you and what's not for you, and that is all Spirit can say to you and tell you enough of, is that you know your self-worth. Trust and have faith that the right thing is going to come to you at the right time, and that you are dedicated when it comes to it, and you're not taking a back seat by taking time for yourself. If anything, you're fueling yourself even more in order to receive that love, and loving yourself and trusting yourself is the first step anyway. And you know that already from your past experiences of looking after yourself. And I feel like you have a lot of your in your life you have a lot of love in your life already through friends and other connections and that kind of thing, to know what energy you are deserving of and what you should be aligning to. So that's the kind of current energy that is being picked up upon now. If you don't feel like that's the energy state that you are in, then do feel free to go back to the intro, like I said, and pick another pile. But we're going to look now at what's coming next in love for you, my friend. So we'll get some tarot cards and clarify each one of those too. So I'll just give your cards a shuffle. But like that planning card, that the situation, it requires detailed analysis. I feel like that's almost like that's past. Like you've tried to analyze, you've tried to be like, why, what is this, and that kind of thing. And it's not this kind of woulda, shoulda, coulda energy, and you should not have that. Is what Spirit is saying. It should be looking with fresh eyes and kind of accepting what was in order to like know what you are deserving of in the future. Okay. Oh, interesting. We've got the 8 of Pentacles coming back up again. So we've got the 8 of Cups. We have got the 4 of Pentacles. I'm going to take both of you together. 4 of Pentacles, King of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, Justice clarified by the King of Cups as well. So I'm going to get a card for each. Obviously, we've had the King of Cups already for the Justice card. We've got Death for the 4 of Pentacles. Death to the 4 of Pentacles. We have got 6 of Wands and also the 3 of Pentacles underneath the King of Wands. And we've also got the 4 of Cups, which obviously came up earlier too with the 8 of Pentacles. And we've got Temperance again. So this obviously came up in your first bit there. But it's all about this moderation of knowing that you've expended externally and actually what can you draw inward in towards your center, but knowing that you're the alchemist of your life and you are blending everything together, and it's this tranquility and harmony after the storm because you are melding the past with the kind of future energy and becoming that alchemist for yourself. So that feels like, again, just the general energy underpinning everything. But Spirit is saying, like, you know what is for you, you know the energy that you are deserving of, and you can bring that into your center, and your inward state will reflect the outer state. So continue to do that throughout. But with the 8 of Cups and the 5 of Wands, I really see a release of the stagnant emotional energy, and knowing that you weren't fulfilled as you were. And I think with that 5 of Wands, you're sick and tired of the noise, like we were saying, of the people around. And actually, you know intuitively that you want to step away from it and you want to step into that unknown space. And actually, that can bring up fear. It can bring up a lot of things. But you know the alternative of sitting in that kind of friction state, of other people's opposing wills and desires and all of those things is not serving you. So there definitely feels like a walk away, walking towards something new, even if you don't know where that is currently. And again, with the Death card, that change, it feels like, you know, time is like, times are a-changing. It's rebirth o'clock. Like, things are happening for you now, and you're not allowing the physical thing of having this relationship fully in front of you to weigh on your mind, heart and soul. You know that you can release that past, release those things which aren't serving that energy, and move towards something new. And when you release all of that baggage, that's when new things come about. And I think there is a really significant change, something which shocks you out of your kind of current comfort, and really gives you a shake up, which then opens up for new opportunities, new revelation, that rebirth. It's like the shedding of old skin, and it's actually that thing, the most important thing about change is the reaction. And actually it feels like you're ready for that shake up, you're ready for that change, because you feel like you've been in this kind of rut of trying to work towards something which you're not seeing or yielding the result as you would want them to. You've been trying to plan, you've been trying to do all of those things, and actually what I see is this new opportunity coming towards you that actually now that is what you're supposed to be working towards. With that King of Wands, we've got 6 of Wands and also the 3 of Pentacles. So this could be we've got two kings. We've got the King of Wands and we've also got the King of Cups. So this person could be a fire or a water sign, or maybe there could be potentially 2, because we've got the scales of justice potentially, or maybe it's one's you, one's them. And I'll talk more about what I'm seeing. But with this King of Wands, this could be a Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, or have those placements. King of Cups, water sign, so Cancer, Scorpio or Pisces. So I think with the King of Wands, it feels like there is this great, and I feel like this is more you, if anything, but then again, it's so interesting. There's instigator of change, and actually maybe it is someone external, because we've got this Death card, which is all about change. Maybe it's someone external in your life, because you've been doing that changing within yourself and that acceptance of yourself. That's when, like, your internal world, that's when your external world starts to reflect it back at you. So I feel like this person, this fiery person, comes in really passionately, energetically, always has this restless energy about them. Someone who commands respect, but also has this kind of fire lit under their belly in terms of their passions, their wills. And I think they are an instigator of change within their lives, and also potentially within the lives of others. And maybe you meet them with this 3 of Pentacles at work. Maybe you're on a similar project with them. Maybe you have to push past a mountain together in a way, it is what I'm hearing. But like, there is definitely this thing that you are both working towards, and the victory is almost certain with. It feels like there is great triumph coming up towards it. So maybe that's in terms of like a project, like I said, maybe school, work, that kind of thing. But it feels like this person, like, I was about to say rocks out. Oh my God, who am I? But they are this energy of really forward thinking is and like really like intuitive, and has these great instincts, but really creative, has this brilliant flair, this fiery flair, and they are constantly, I think, celebrating other people as well. And I think maybe there's a cause of celebration for you where you feel like you are the center of attention, but really it's a team effort here. And so I feel like workplace could be quite significant for a lot of people, where this person really comes in and gives it a shake up and almost stirs up those emotions in a lot of ways. And it feels like there is it feels like work, no play, very much at the beginning. But like, I still feel like there's this kind of like with the fire energy, like this passion, like a like-minded energy of excitement and flair about the whole thing. But maybe you're like, oh, is that just their personality? Is that just who they are? But with this 8 of Pentacles, I feel like there is hard work, there is dedication towards this task, being prudent, putting those hours in. And maybe it's to do with whatever. Maybe it's even a hobby as well for some people, because maybe it's something that you are really passionate about and dedicated towards, but that could be in your career as well. So I'm not saying that's discarding that at all, but this person feels like they share mutual passions, and maybe you're both working towards something in terms of this 8 of Pentacles. And it really feels like the hope has come from this, like the hope has come not from looking at what you don't have, but looking at the possibilities of what could be. And it's like you've got that momentum moving forwards now within your life in one area. It's like if you felt like you were emotionally stagnating in a lot of ways, it feels like this one thing, even if it's just the work project, that working feels like it's done a kind of 360, like a spin and a perspective shift for you. Like it's like when one part of your life feels like it's dislodged, everything feels like it then starts to flow. And I feel like you feel like you're in the flow, and there's this energy of like I said, like-minded people, great conversations and great passionate conversations about what you love to do. And maybe there is that friction of slightly different views, but it's all respected. And with the King of Cups as well, and this Justice card, potentially there is this it's so interesting because there's a couple of things that I'm hearing. One could be it's the balance between the work hard, like the working hard and the emotional side of it. Maybe that's what feels unbalanced, and you're like, actually, I see this emotional connection here, but I think it's actually, so that could be one thing in terms of like maybe the relationship, it's calling towards like, look at the hope, look at the emotional opportunities for growth and all of those things and the lessons that you're learning, and trusting that that's coming towards you. But I also think it's like, maybe, because I thought maybe, it could be two people. But with this Temperance card, and obviously we've got all of these balancing, I think it's actually similar to that work thing, but there's great like passion and talking and energetic to and fro and all of those things. But I think the emotional heart is where you feel like there becomes an imbalance there, because maybe within this situation, because you are working together, because you are doing all of those things, when the emotions start to come in and that kind of thing, it's almost like that needs to be addressed, that balance within the relationship with this person. And actually having those emotionally mature conversations, I think, is what Spirit is saying. You know, it's, you are established in your feelings, you know yourself, you know what you are deserving of, and actually maybe there comes a time where you have to address imbalances if they do come up, and really know what you are worthy of and say, and kind of speak your truth in a lot of ways. So maybe there is this energy, or maybe it's them coming forward as well, just as equally in this emotionally mature state, and saying like, so this person could actually be in your life already, this kind of King of Wands character, this fiery, passionate person that maybe you know at work, that you've always had this respect for, and vice versa. And maybe it's actually kind of that opening up to address like, oh yeah, we work but together, but there is this kind of emotional feeling here as well. Maybe there's that weighing up, and maybe it feels like the pros and cons lists of like, oh, should we, shouldn't we? But I feel like an emotionally mature conversation, that kind of feeling of emotional anchor, and actually rationally looking down and listening to your heart and what it's telling you, and for them as well, and to tip those scales, and to really know that everything that you've put in together in terms of this relationship has been in the past, and there's an acceptance of there, and you have the opportunity, if you want to shift it, if you want to change and move forward with this kind of new emotional following your heart in a way, instead of looking at what you don't have, it's like being open and receptive to the new energy that may come about, the new feelings that may stir up, and that kind of thing. Because maybe you know exactly who I'm talking about, and you're like, no, never in a million years. Like, yeah, we're really good friends. Yeah, we celebrate each other, hold each other up, we can work hard together, we have a great time, but maybe we're like, I'm not sure about the emotional side. But maybe like that emotional cup, maybe that Ace of Cups offering to drink deeply, and that new emotional opportunity for experience and growth, which maybe you weren't looking for with this person before, kind of takes you a bit by surprise. And Spirit's saying, like, draw some of that emotional energy into your center and see, and see how you feel about it, and know that there may be that feeling of unbalance, of needing to address something, comes from that your internal world. So if that starts to happen, check in with yourself and emotionally, and take that and like listen to what is happening, because there will be a reason for it, no matter what it is, in any aspect of your life. So maybe those feelings start to stir up, and maybe your external world then feels like it's like, I don't know, that's just the general feeling that I get. Is it may just, they always say, you know, I don't believe in like, you know, one day we just turned around and I had feelings. I feel like it's something gradual that happens and that grows. And there's obviously a great connection potentially here already, or especially when you meet this person, like there's a affinity with knowing the other person and their passions and desires and all of those things, and that kind of fervent energy. And you can have all of that too, but you can like the water element, the emotional element as well, will help you differentiate between what is just like passion and fun and excitement, and actually those emotional depths too, because the intuition in the heart, that feeling energy is so similar, but it's caught up in this work. So that's where it may feel like it possibly throws you off kilter with this person. So I want to get some affirmators as well, to get you some advice too. So interesting, we had solidarity come up in my previous pile. Oh, okay, you guys get 4. And we've also got independence, interestingly. Oh wow, okay, you guys have got 5. Okay, I'm gonna let it slide. Appreciation. I appreciate the unique ways other people show their love rather than compare their ways with my ways. Then I appreciate myself for maturely putting up with people who just can't seem to show love the normal, obvious, universally accepted way. Good job, both of us. So this may be one of those things, like the work hard, and then the emotional side. Maybe the way this person expresses their love is different to how you're used to in the past, or those kind of things, and maybe it's not normal, like as in, and the normal way that you're used to. So maybe that's why you're not seeing the emotional opportunity potentially there, because you're so caught up in the work aspect of your relationship, or the educational side of your relationship, if that's resonates more with you. But it feels like you can accept that way and know and maturely say that people are unique and show it in different ways, and actually through passions and desires, that is a way of showing what they love to do, and there's an appreciation of that as well. So that could be a frustration potentially that comes up. So there's that appreciation card. We've got resilience. Sticks and stones may break my bones, and unkind words can somehow drain every bit of joy and colour from my once rosy life. But nothing can ever permanently damage the real me. I love myself, I cherish myself, and I vow to remember that I'm always camped out in the depths of myself, even when I don't feel like very much of myself. So this is very, this is calling from the beginning, I feel like, for me, this resilience of self that you have had, in terms of nothing can bring you down, in terms of what has happened in the past and what you know that you're walking away from. It's impermanent. It is temporary, all those feelings, and actually you are aligning with happiness, and you should love yourself and cherish yourself, and know that within yourself you have everything you could ever have, want, or need. And emotionally you've got such great depth, and this has built you up to this emotional maturity and this established strength of feeling. And know that that is part of you, and it's so important, and that is going to carry you into this unknown period and away from the things that you know you don't deserve. Don't allow those situations to drain you, those opposing wills and desires of that Five of Wands card, the noise of the situation. You're above that. And we've also got solidarity. I respect the power of solidarity and look for opportunities to unleash it. When a loved one has have to do something tough, I'll heed their often silent but sometimes loud and whiny call and participate in the toughness with them. Everything is easier when a partner, cohort, sidekick joins you. The only thing that's not easier is feeling the resentment. So, which I suppose is the overall point. So it's okay to have solidarity with yourself and to do all those things. But I think with that teamwork card that's coming up, potentially there's things that are going to draw you externally and to be doing things, and that's great. And there's this great camaraderie when we're with people, and especially with people that kind of ignite those passions within us and all of those things. But know that you've gone through this change and these changes of what you once thought for a reason, and there's still like those changes will still be appearing in your life, and make sure you still direct that inwardly and that solidarity, and don't feel resentment for expending yourself too much again, because we had that financial constraints card at the beginning of like giving so much of yourself. And you can give yourself to others, but have those healthy boundaries in place, so when you need to take that time, you can take that time. We've got independence. I embrace total independence, and I see how empowering that is. Even when I'm in a relationship, I can still be independent by meeting my own needs and creating my own happiness. When I do that, I'm the fullest version of myself, and I have much more me to give without needing pieces of me in return, a scientifically impossible expectation. So yes, when you are your fullest version of yourself, you don't give anything of yourself away to anyone, and that doesn't create happiness by not meeting your needs. You need to meet your needs firstly and have that solidarity and that time with yourself, and channeling that energy firstly towards yourself. So always, at every step of the way, whether there's these big changes going out, whether those people coming towards you or that person coming towards you, that fiery energy, know that you stand tall and proud, and no one can tell you how to think or feel. You've got all the experiences necessary and that intuition to know what is right for you, and you create your own happiness. And I feel like you are at that point where you know that that is what you deserve, and you deserve not to feel like you are constrained financially in terms of you're expending so much of your emotional self and not getting it back. So know that you can give that to yourself, and that makes you stronger in order to be the fullest version of yourself and align yourself with that energy. That's the empowering part of it. And even in relationships, even when you're talking to people, like meeting your own needs and having your own sense of happiness is the most important thing. We've also got vulnerability. I allow myself to talk about my feelings without fear of external judgment or internal drama. When I express my feelings, a couple of funny things happen. 1, I feel like a kindergartner. 2, everything gets lighter, easier, and filled with a comforting glow of honesty. Hey, no wonder kindergartners seem so fun and stress-free. So with this vulnerability card, I feel like this is calling to this justice, where I said maybe there was an emotional conversation which had to come about to kind of express feelings. Maybe that's from them or you. And this is about the honesty, but even with the honesty of yourself, of if you are feeling those imbalances in your external world or within your internal, it's because something is happening. Don't judge that. Be honest with yourself and feel lighter. And maybe it's having conversations with people and telling people how you feel about them. That can be the scariest thing, to kind of put your heart on the line in that way and express how you are feeling. But if you're open and honest and you're being vulnerable, that is a proof of your innate strength. And there is great resilience that you already have. And know that there is joy from expressing your truth self, even if it makes you vulnerable, because it's showing your heart, and people connect to that honesty in a lot of ways. So it makes you feel young, and that you can't formulate sentences and like a teenager in love in a lot of ways. But there's that feeling of deservedness, and knowing that you deserve to take those risks for your happiness. maybe you feel like that's energy that you've been through before, with what we were saying, especially at your beginning, in terms of your energy of what you've meant to give. But if that energy starts to come towards you and you start to get those emotions, don't feel afraid to speak up about how you're feeling, even if it's to yourself, because that imbalance, that internal drama, like it says, as soon as you release it, you release the drama of the situation, and you look at it matter-of-factly of how you're feeling, that's when you do feel lighter, and you're able to use your head as well as your heart to make those decisions and have those conversations with people if you want to, or conversations with yourself, and look at it with honesty. So my glorious friends of pile 3, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. I really hope it resonated with you. I hope the advice was useful. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch today. I absolutely loved reading your cards. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you next time. Until then, I am sending so much love. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 4. So if you picked the Tarot in Wonderland deck with the honey calcite heart, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, we're going to do an energy check-in, so an emotional, mental check-in with your energy towards love. So we have got, in terms of oracle cards, Door to Romance. We have got Coming to Life. We have got Detachment. You are releasing old patterns and ideas that no longer serve your highest ideals of love. And we have Passion, Magnetic Pull, and Romance. So I want to get some tarot cards as well to kind of go into this a little bit further in terms of your energy. But I really feel like this is an awakening, or a reawakening for some people, when it comes to love. So maybe you've not aligned to this energy of romance before, and maybe it feels like you're awakening to that feeling of actually feeling that passion and that magnetic pull to something or someone, or maybe it feels like you are reawakening to it if it feels like it's been dormant for a little while, and that's, yeah, so it could be either way, awakening or reawakening. So we have got the Knight of Pentacles. What else do we have, Spirit? We have got the Page of Pentacles. Okay, interesting. We have got Justice. Great. We have got the Ten of Wands. And we've also got Death. Okay, yeah. So with that Death card, there is definitely this rebirth, this wanting to... we've also got the Queen of Cups underneath, which I feel like could be quite... could be linked to you, in the fact that maybe you are a water sign with this Queen of Cups energy, potentially a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces. You don't have to be, you don't have to have those placements, but maybe you are just emotionally aligning to following your heart in a lot of ways, and actually nurturing yourself as well as other people, but really feeling that strong vision for what you deserve, that attaching of love. And actually I think there is this real kind of like confidence in yourself too, and that you are really proud of who you are in a lot of ways, and what you are awakening to. And we've got this butterfly in the corner here, this kind of rebirth, this symbol of emergence and transformation. And death is all about that as well. The Death card is all about transformation and unattachment from those things or those old patterns, and really releasing the burdens and oppressions of the past, getting rid of the stuff that doesn't serve you, really doing that kind of accountability for your life in a really kind of like not even in a cold way, but in a truthful way, with this Justice card, like this truth seeking. And it even says proclamation by the Queen, and I know this is the Queen of kind of hearts sort of thing in the deck, or the Red Queen, or I haven't seen Alice in Wonderland for a while, but so sorry if I got that wrong. But it feels like there's this truth seeking, like when it comes down to it, I know what I am worthy of, and I know the energy of what I am worthy of now. And it's almost like your proclamation to yourself of, I am releasing the old and I am welcoming in the new. I am aligning myself to romance, and romance, it feels like, is emerging. And it's that kind of cold hard look at look at everything and realizing that nothing is rigid or permanent, and actually you have the ability to play and bring around new things. And maybe there is an earth sign, potentially Taurus, Capricorn or Virgo, that may have creeped onto the scene, or maybe they are or maybe they have those placements in their chart. They don't have to, but this may be someone that is quite dedicated towards their goals, and who is maybe really specific with that, but just a really like anchoring presence, someone who is persistent and maybe really like comes in with their communication. Is just a really steady person, and there's this kind of element maybe towards them really like planning romantic things or something, which maybe makes you like awaken to those feelings of like of what you are deserving too, of like, oh, this person is putting this energy into me, is like talking to me, is doing all of these things, and this is kind of the energy that you are deserving of. And it feels like this either way, it's not in a really bogged down, I've got to plant this way. This is still things are coming to life, things are shaping, but it's not permanent. I can choose and pick what I want to grow in this way, but it just feels like opportunities are coming, and like there's an acceptance of the past, and it's not allowing your movement forward. You just know what, in this present moment, that you are detaching from the old and you are welcoming in new energy that aligns and follows your heart. And it feels like things are opening up, especially in the arena of love, because obviously we've got daughter romance, we've got romance, passion and magnetic pull. So I feel like this, like the time is coming upon you, and maybe you feel it already, or maybe you just are in this knowing energy of like putting it into your GPS of, this is what is coming. I know it's coming. There's this kind of great there's this great feeling of connectivity to the present, but also the future of what you want in terms of when it comes to love. And it does really feel like the shedding of the old, or shedding of the frozen period where maybe you felt stagnant, or maybe nothing felt like it was growing. It feels like the spring, like new life coming in. So I definitely don't feel like it may be I don't think it's reconciliation from the past, or a past kind of romance, as it were. I feel like this is new energy, and it's offloading the old patterns and ideas in order for that future. So if you didn't resonate with that energy, no problem. You can go pick another pile if you felt drawn to another one. But if you did, we'll look at your tarot for what's coming next in love. And it's no problem if you didn't connect with that energy at all, and you go to that one. That's why I did the top bit, to make sure it was resonating with you. So let's have a look. So Spirit, what is coming next in love for my friend of pile 4? What is coming next in love? Coming next in love. Oh, I thought we were gonna get some flyers. Okay, so we have the Queen of Wands, we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the 2 of Wands, we have Strength, we have the 8 of Cups, we have the Chariot card clarifying the Queen of Wands. Do you want to be up or down? Up. We have got the 10 of Pentacles with the Hierophant as well. Oh, I think 2 of Wands with the Ace of Wands. Actually, 9 of Wands is there, because 9 of Wands is the Strength card, and Strength clarifying Strength. I knew it fell out for a reason. And the 8 of Cups is with the Ace of Cups. Okay, and we've got the 9 of Swords on the back of the deck. So firstly, what I feel like is coming up in love is we had that kind of releasing of old patterns, but I think it's releasing the fears and anxieties of what may be coming next, and that fear of the unknown with that Nine of Swords, but also the weight of other people's words, and especially the past, if it still feels like it's lingering or hanging over you in any way. I feel like there is enough new energy coming in that it's going to make you feel like you can propel forward and away from that. And actually, if there's still people or other people's fears and anxieties feel like they're coming up upon you, it feels like you are coming out of this almost, I'm hearing living nightmare. If you felt like you were living in this feeling that you were always up against things or nothing seemed to be going your way, and it just kind of felt like almost one of those spit take scenes where it like kept going round. It was like, could anything more happen to this poor main character? But not in a pitying way, but in a way like, can't the writers give them a break? Like that feeling. And I feel like there is definite movement, like it's time for movement away from that. And Spirit is saying like, fears and anxieties may still creep up, doubt may still creep up, that inner critic sometimes, that voice, but also the voice of other people in your head that spiral, people like residual things that people have said that stick with you. Like those things may still come up, but that does not take away from the new energy that is coming in. And by gosh, golly gosh, there is so much coming in. So we've got this Queen of Wands and the Chariot. So potentially fire signs here, but with this Wands card, I get this more for you because we had that Queen of Cups, but maybe you're a fire sign, or maybe you have fire and water placements. So Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, that could be a possibility. But I feel like there is this, that, and this is why I think it links to the Queen of Cups, no matter what emotional storms you have been through, you have risen above it, and you are here, you are present, and your intuition is calling to you. And it really feels like I can see so much in terms of spiritual team here. It like with this familiar at the floor, at the feet, it feels like your spiritual team are around you, and you know that you are passionate, creative, funny, positive, and all the good things are coming towards you. And it really feels like with this Chariot card, those blocks, those obstacles that feel like they're unfreezing, that kind of frozen winter into the new spring, is falling away from you now. And your courage, your determination, and your willpower are the things that are going to create the change that you want to see, the change that is already happening with that Death card, that you are already awakening to. And actually you're so ready for the change, and you're so accepting of it, that it's going to take root, it's going to start planting itself. And it really feels like in terms of love, this sense of self is the thing that triumphs throughout and will always continue. And that energy of self is the thing, and that strength. And this is why strength, clarified by strength, you're ready for any opportunity, any opposition, anything. And you are nurturing yourself at every turn. But I do think there is this, with this Ten of Pentacles and this Hierophant, there is almost, and the Hierophant is linked to Taurus. So obviously we had that Knight of Pentacles before, that person that may be coming in steady, dependable, all of those things. And with the Ten of Pentacles too, I do get earth energy of maybe someone that it has their future goals in plan, all of those things, but is almost uncannily feeling like family, almost like has that presence of warmth and anchoring, and there is this wealth and abundance within this connection, because I think it feels familiar. It feels like the energy that almost within yourself that you know that you're deserving of in a lot of ways. And I feel like the goals for this, even if they are in the future, feel really similar, but also helps challenge and almost mesh as well with new ones coming in. But with the Hierophant card, this really does feel like a teacher in a lot of ways, in terms of that coming to life feeling of opening up to the possibilities, but opening up the way to spirituality and the teaching of love, and seeing love every single day and having faith in it again, whether that's reawakening or coming to life in that feeling of seeing the life of family and wealth and legacy and all of those things. And maybe if feelings of fear and anxiety were overwhelming and feeling like I'm never going to have that, I don't think I'm deserving of it, if those inner critic voices or the voices of other people saying, oh, it's a bit late now or whatever, I feel like that is completely discarded, and this almost opens you up to new possibilities. And it does feel like a teacher in that way that burdens off the past, and really opens your eyes to the comfort of the future of what could grow, and the, like I said, the beautiful wealth and legacy. And it feels like a pivotal moment in a lot of ways, this meeting with this person. But it's not even that this may be the person, like soulmate or whatever. It could just be that this person awakens those feelings of hope and rekindles that, of seeing the future. And it may not be, you may go on a couple of dates and be like, oh, this is really nice, but actually I don't see that future with them, but I know that I deserve that future. And then it's almost finding that romance, that magnetic pull. And I'm not saying that this person isn't that, I'm just saying, like, whether it is or isn't, it opens you up to that feeling of, I know what I am deserving of, and I know the life that I want to create now. And there is this, with this Ace of Wands, again, great passion, great fire, this just do it energy, and this like setting the soul alight is what I'm hearing, and this stirring up again of energy. There is so much new coming in, and with this Two of Wands really funneling that, and it's almost like two lots of fire coming together and creating a bigger fire. So maybe twin flames resonates with this pile in a lot of ways. Potentially that's something, if you feel like you are in a twin flame relationship and maybe you've been separated. I know I said, you know, the reconciliation I didn't really necessarily see for this pile, but maybe it's, and this is how you should see everyone, this is just a little tangent if you did recognize twin flame, because we've got this Two of Wands here, but if you do, if there is someone potentially you're in separation with, maybe that energy is coming back, but remember that they are someone new as well. So they may have changed. They may have gone through their own recreation, their own rebirth with that Death card. Maybe both people have done, focusing on their whole selves and what they want to create. And actually maybe it's, and this is how it should be seen, as a completely different new relationship with two different people, because you are both different. So if you do recognize that, maybe it feels like two flames, as it were, but if you don't resonate with that, that's no problem at all. It feels like either way there's this Ace of Wands, this new opportunity for passion and kind of that stirring up of intuition, a new way of acting and feeling, which can be channeled and creatively visualizes the future, looks forward. And that's not about the physical manifestations of, I want a house, I want this. It's that connectivity to love, of that magnetic pull, of knowing what you are deserving in terms of your feeling. That intuitive feeling of, I know the feeling of love, and that's what I want to embody and have in the future. And that's what I'm looking for that legacy, is to feel that. And there's, like I said, great sense of strength in self. And maybe you might have your guard up, especially at the beginning, because you're protecting yourself. Those boundaries are in there because of past behavior and old patterns and that kind of thing. But I think very slowly but surely, the new emotional opportunities coming in are going to help you release a lot of that, which I feel like you've already been doing, that detachment through that Ace of Cups, that kind of knowing that those emotional situations, or even if it's an emotional situation with that person, if you did relate to that twin flame, those emotional stagnating positions, moving towards optimism in the future and walking away from those situations because they didn't fulfill you. Because even though you tried, there's no hope of rekindling what was. But what is something different. And there looks like there are new emotional opportunities with this Ace of Cups just like waiting, and this Ace of Wands paired, like this general feeling of, yes, it's coming, and this is for growth, for a full heart. So there is definitely this coming to life and this hope for the future of what you want to create and ground. And that's all come from that great sense of self and knowing what you are worthy of. And I can't push past that enough. Like, you have such a victory in terms of yourself and seeing yourself in a new life, in a new perspective shift, and knowing what you are deserving of. And fears and anxieties that do creep up, you're going to be able to nurture them and stop them almost in their tracks when they do come up, and identify them. But I feel like if you do feel your guard is up and you feel like that's holding you back, know that boundaries are, we put our boundaries in place of what we will and won't accept, what energy we won't accept. And that's what they are. But you have the power to listen to them, listen to those fears and anxieties that come up, why you are feeling defensive, why you feel like you've got to have this strength against who could be the enemy, or if that feels like it comes up, and listen to that voice and nurture it, and know that gentleness, and you don't need that vulnerability, that is proof of your strength. The vulnerability that you have to wanting love and wanting to find that's usually where the fear creeps up in, is the absence of, or the fear of getting hurt, all of those things, especially if it's twin flame and there's a reconciliation and you're worried about the fears and anxieties of whether it will be the same and all of those things. Remember, you have changed from your old patterns, and you are continuing to detach from that. And actually, it's everything that you put in the present moment with that Justice card, the new seeds, the new intentions, the new energy, the new emotional energy for growth, and the new passion that then set the foundation for the future. And this can be with old or new people, but either way, I feel like there is this surge of beautiful energy coming towards you. And obviously we had Queen of Cups earlier, and we have the Queen of Wands here, which I said was you in a lot of ways. And I think it almost comes from you, this sense of romance, because you know what you are deserving of. When your internal world, your internal fire, your internal water, your emotions, it reflects back at you. So that is all going to come to you because you have that sense of self. And it feels like beautiful energy, like like I said, whether it's a long-term thing or short-term, either way, it's the hope, and it's the finding of yourself again, of finding that love for the future, of like, that's what I'm having, that's what I'm going for, and that's what I know I deserve. And there's great victory in that. And almost when you unblock everything else, that's when it all falls into place. I can't stress that enough. And also with that Chariot card, like, your courage and your determination and all of that strength that you have built is only going to propel you further, because that Chariot, it's always going to go in that direction once you set your sights on it, what it is that you want with that Two of Wands. As soon as you feel like you've come to life with that, things start happening. You start aligning with that energy, and the new things come in, the new things that align with you, what you are deserving of. So I want to get some love affirmators as well for you guys too. So Spirit, what else do you have for my friends? What do you have for my friends with pile 4? Okay. Ooh. So we have giving. I welcome the idea of give and take in my relationships, and I eagerly practice the give part. By giving freely, I discover just how fun giving really is. Giving my time, care, and attention to someone else actually gives me good feelings, which makes me want to give even more. Wait a sec, does the selflessness make me look selfish? Be honest. So with this giving, I feel like Spirit is saying, like, you can give the first compliment. You can ask out if that's what you want. I feel like you're kind of in this state of romance and that door opening and that magnetic pull to people potentially. And actually, you can give that if you want to, because that kind of makes you feel good as well when you give yourself the chance of love, if you know what I mean, if you don't let it hold by. So potentially that, but also the give and take is so important, and the reciprocation, and you know what you're deserving of. And I feel like that gift is just going to keep on coming when you give more of yourself and you let your guard down in a lot of ways, and you give and you are open and you're honest. That holds a mirror up for other people, and then they do that in return for you. So there's that beautiful energy, and I think you are giving yourself this emotional kind of pep talk, but also the good feelings, and that's going to reflect back at you, and the gifts of the universe are going to reflect that. We've also got rest. I take a step away from my stress, and then a deep breath, and then a crankiness killing nap. When I get the rest I need, I instantly become a better version of myself, able to navigate complex relationships in a single bound. When I don't, I'm not, which means I shouldn't, but I try to. And then we can't, and it doesn't, but I did, so I wasn't. Oh, good night. So I feel like this is kind of the situation we were talking about with this kind of Nine of Swords, this kind of living nightmare, that kind of frozen period of working through anxiety, stress, nervousness, all of those things when it comes to relationships. And actually, you've taken that rest for yourself, and you've got that sense of strength, and you can always retire to that point if you feel like you need to. But that coming to life, you've taken the rest you needed. So trust the new opportunities when they come knocking as well. So that energy that is stirring up, that is taking you out of that place where you've had to nurture yourself, know that you are deserving of it, and you are ready. Like, the complex relationships are complex of the past. You don't have to keep residing in that energy anymore. When it comes to love should be simple. Love should be love. That is the feeling that come up. And so the stress, the anxiety, all of those things, if they start to creep up, like those boundaries, you've got your boundaries in for a reason. It's obviously not right. It's not sitting right. It should be easy. If someone likes you and you like them, you should be giving. You shouldn't have to worry about when you text them, when you don't, of what they're thinking and all of those things all of the time. You should feel that energy, and you should feel like you are being told everything you need to, and that makes you restful when you have that energy of trust, which is what I feel like you know with that trust card, that detachment card, that kind of trust in the new ideals of love, of what it is that you want to create, and that door to romance of what you know you are deserving of. We also have compassion. I choose compassion over criticism. Walking a mile in other people's shoes reminds me that they might be going through something tougher than I think. Like their shoes are too tight, or they're the kind of shoes that are too casual to be dressy, or too dressy to be casual. Basically, I have no idea what they're dealing with privately, so I'll cut them some slack and be thankful for the shoes I've been dealt. So I feel like this could be relating to that detachment or the twin flame, like we were discussing. And obviously, we can't know what is going on in terms of the fears and anxieties within people, and you have had that as well. And obviously, this is a general reading, so I won't be able to touch on specifics for you, but you'll know that within yourself. And also, it's not my business to know what that is, and so therefore it's no one else's as well, unless you want to share that. But it's private if you want it to be. But there's that compassion of everyone is going through something. Everyone has gone through their past traumas, past hurts, past loves, and everyone is carrying that with them. They're trying not to let those experiences rule them, but sometimes it's quite hard, and we can recognize that in other people as they may recognize it in us. And this is how we want them to be, is to be compassionate towards us, that we are human beings, that we carry stuff from our past, that we are still learning, that we are still growing, that we are still trying to align to that energy. And so whether this person, like I said, with the twin flames, they are a new person coming towards, and they have dealt with so much too, and maybe they are trying to walk a new walk, and maybe you are trying to walk a new walk. And we've got to be thankful for where we are, but also where we are going, and where those new shoes are taking us, in a way of like, if that's what we want, we can be thankful for the cards that we've been dealt, and take them in our stride and keep moving forward, and know that with changes in the present moment and our behavior in the present moment affect where we're going. So just as you were going through this, you know that other people are as well, and you can share your fears and anxieties with the right people and with the people that you trust, and let that guard down. But you don't have to. Know that too. But everyone has got their skeleton full of closets, as it were, their past hurts, the things that they may not have shown to anyone that really, really took them by surprise or cut them really deeply. So it's like allowing yourself to have that rest, giving yourself that time, but also being compassionate towards yourself and others as well, which I'm sure you absolutely are. But if someone, and this is the thing, if someone says something or does something with that Nine of Swords, know that sometimes that is their own fear being projected onto you, their own hurts that they're dealing with privately, potentially, that they have put onto you. And that doesn't make it right, but you can walk away from that and say, that must be something that they are dealing with privately, and I've triggered them, or this situation has triggered them. So I hope that advice was useful. But my glorious friends of pile 4, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I really loved reading your cards today. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you guys all very soon. I am sending so much love until then, and yeah, see you later. Bye. Hi lovely friends of pile 5. So if you picked the Mystic Mondays Tarot and the Crystal Quartz Bear, then this reading is going to be for you. So firstly, at the top of the pile, we are going to do a quick energy check-in when it comes to love, emotionally and mentally. So with Oracle cards, we have got Journey, we have got Deep Freeze, we have got Forgiveness. You are now able to activate the power of love in order to release past hurts. And I had 2 cards fall out, which I did put one back in, and then it was on the back and it was calling to me, and underneath that one was yes confirmation. So I was like, okay, I need to use it. So we have Shell. Certain matters in this situation are not being communicated, hidden, aloof, deserted. And we've also got Break. Ties have been severed in a situation. Release what doesn't serve you. Interrupted, cut off, separated. So I feel like for this pile, potentially there... Oh, actually, I'm going to get some tarot cards as well, but I'll still talk whilst doing them. I feel like there could be a deep freeze in the terms of maybe someone ghosted you or went completely cold, left you out in the cold, and maybe you felt really deserted by that, or maybe you were interrupted or cut off for some reason, or maybe it was a mutual thing, but it feels like the past still hurts, and I feel like that heal the ouch moment still hasn't potentially come. And I feel like there's a really kind of like woulda, coulda, shoulda energy, maybe, that maybe you were caught up in for a long time, but now you're trying to like forgive that and forgive yourself for feeling that, and realizing that you can change that thinking in a lot of ways. But yeah, I feel like there is this... Okay, interesting. Okay. I feel like there was potentially a situation where the separation happened because maybe someone literally flew away. Maybe that's journey as in like abroad or away, or maybe there was geographic distance in some ways with this Knight of Wands, or potentially just like had this kind of act first, think later kind of mentality, and was like, I'm gonna go plunge and do something else, or and kind of just their energy, there was just a sudden break for some reason, and it felt kind of like complete desertion in a lot of ways, and maybe they were the ones that took the journey away. But now I feel like you are kind of taking a journey away from this energy that you've been in, and like that forgiveness in order to release. And I feel like there is a definite want for release here. And with that Seven of Pentacles, like I said, maybe potentially there was that woulda, coulda, shoulda energy. Maybe you've been over it, you've analysed it. What didn't I do? What should I have done? And potentially that put you into your shell a bit. But Spirit is saying breaks and ties and being cut off, that there's I love this saying of sometimes there is energy we weren't privy to, conversations or things going on that's why things were cut off from our life, because of conversations we weren't aware of or things that were going on underneath the surface. And I think there is this kind of feeling of looking at the loss of the situation at the moment. Not that you were in a woe is me, but maybe you were in there in that deep freeze, like really kind of licking your wounds in a lot of ways and trying to analyze and go over. But actually, I think through that feeling of loss, you then paradoxically feel the hope of something new. And I think now it's all you realizing that actually you can forgive that situation, and there's actually nothing you could have done about it. It wasn't your actions. I feel like it's actually the actions more of the other person. And now it's like with this Nine of Cups energy that you have got your emotional ducks in a row. You're in a place where you are feeling that fulfillment within yourself and opening and being aware to the key towards something new. You're kind of arrived at this destination where you're looking for something, looking out for and being receptive and open to the new energy that may be about, which maybe you didn't feel like you could for a long, long time. And maybe this person you still hold an affinity for them, but you're learning to release that maybe. And maybe they really opened you up to a lot of things. Maybe they even opened you up to spirituality, is what I'm hearing for some people potentially. But that may not be the case for everyone. But maybe they really like indoctrinated you into a new way of thinking and all of these things, or like got you involved in hobbies or passions or whatever it is that were theirs. And there's so much to have learned from here, and there's so much power in that feeling of love and all that it gave you. But that energy's been cut off for a reason, and it's going to, now you've got this kind of perspective of maybe the spirituality, this connection of there's more to come. And with this Nine of Cups, there's this wish card. Maybe you're even wishing and trying to manifest this person back for some people. Is potentially something. But if that's what you want, if that's what you're looking for, I'm not saying that this reading is not going to be that, because we're going to look at what's coming next in love. There's got to be this forgiveness of the past and what happened in the past if this is to have a future in a lot of ways. It's kind of like meeting in the middle and saying like, we're going to almost accept the past for what it was. We're not those people anymore that did those things. We are going to start afresh from this moment in time and look at each other with new eyes and look at the energy of what we get from this point on. If that is something that you do want, potentially, if for some people they do want to rekindle this, and if you don't, that is absolutely fine. I'm not saying that I don't know what's going to fall next in terms of what's coming next in love, but there feels like this new wish card energy. It just depends on what you are internally, yourself manifesting new love, or potentially this old. But yes, so it feels like maybe I feel like for some people, maybe if there has been this frozen period, maybe this ghosting or this separation or no contact, maybe that's something that they're hoping to bring around. And maybe the opportunities for emotional experience are actually flowing to you already, but maybe you're not in the mental state to receive them because potentially you're still looking at the past, like the new opportunities, whether that's with someone fresh or with, you know, the old person potentially. So I'm going to get some cards for what's coming next in love. But if that doesn't resonate with you, feel free to pick another pile if you were drawn to more than one. But let's have a look, see what is coming next for you guys. So Spirit, what is coming next for pile 5 when it comes to love? Well, okay. So we have got the 3 of Cups. Ooh. We have got the 5 of Wands, we have got the 6 of Swords, we have got the 5 of Swords too. We have got the 8 of Wands with the 4 of Wands. I was going to get a clarifier for each one, but that's brilliant. Okay, we have got the Emperor for the 3 of Cups. We have got the King of Pentacles underneath the 5 of Wands. We have got the Magician underneath the 6 of Swords. And we have got Strength underneath the 5 of Swords. And we have got the 6 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So there is this feeling of victory coming your way and triumph, and almost a celebration of you and your wills and your passions in a lot of ways. So I think whatever you are hoping for, maybe potentially, you know, I'm hearing you can't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And I feel like you're going to get exactly what you need from this situation. And with this Magician actually that came up with the 6 of Swords, there was that the initial feeling that I got when it fell out was this: your courage and your determination and your strength is the thing that is going to manifest exactly what it was, that movement forward and releasing the old patterns, the baggage. But also, if you've been manifesting the energy of love, and this is something that I heard, and obviously we spoke about the break and the interrupted and the ghosting. If you are manifesting love and that connectivity to love, and say you were in a relationship or you were starting to date someone that you liked and you were like, this is the energy that I wanted, and then it was cut off, potentially the action, the physical manifestation, maybe that potentially, and I'm playing devil's advocate here, please do not shoot the messenger, potentially that was not it, and that's why that cut-off feeling happened. And maybe the opportunity that you thought it wasn't, but maybe there are new things opening up which you are actually opening up for yourself. So there's kind of 2 ways that I read this, in terms of, we were saying that energy of movement away, of that, again, journey by water. So potentially traveling is something that is with this within this connection potentially, or maybe you are traveling or you have sights, but if not, it's that journey away from the old and into that new. And I feel like whatever you are physically manifesting, whatever you want, your courage and your determination, I think, has proved time and time again that you can get there. And maybe the past, like I said, those breaks, that ghosting, all of those things were in order. And I'm not saying the person wasn't that person, but maybe there was still that room for growing and developing on maybe both sides. And that doesn't mean that that's not going to come back, but it's got to be seen with those fresh eyes. So we have the 3 of Cups with the Emperor. So I think surrounding yourself with people that you want to be like, that love, that feeling of community and solace and healing, that is what Spirit is saying that you are going to be feeling. And that's what's coming next, is that feeling of connectivity and that kind of soul tribe feeling that really builds you up to this Emperor. And maybe this is where you meet the the earthly masculine, as it were, in terms of the tarot with the Emperor card. But it feels like this this real anchor, but I feel like it's more the anchor of your life, that you feel like you have the healthy boundaries in place, that you realize that you have complete accountability and also autonomy within your life, freedom to create exactly what it is that you want to create, and of the energy that you will and won't accept. And this really does feel like the spring with this Aries in the Emperor card. So it feels like maybe the past person was an Aries, or maybe they challenged your boundaries, and maybe this is building you up and has built you up, that strength. Because also we've got Leo, so maybe that Knight of Wands, maybe you are fire sign, maybe you are fire sign, sorry, I missed out a word there. Maybe you are a fire sign, a Leo, Sagittarius or Aries, but you do not have to be. But I feel like all those past experiences, forgiving them and accepting them for what they are, and actually that they've made you stronger, that is what Spirit says is going to propel you forwards into the new, into this new love and connectivity coming in. And I really feel like with that Emperor card, you're going to feel more anchored in yourself, but also that you are, because you're tapping into your kind of like your divine masculine, like that yang energy, and it's that action, that wanting to push past obstacles, to release the old, to create new things. There's that urgency, there is that want to fulfill it in your physical manifestations. And we've got that the heavenly masculine in the Magician card, and that doesn't matter what gender you identify with or anything. This is just the, in terms of energy, it's the outward, it's the outward spectacle, as it were. And I feel like that's what it is at the moment, that there is this want to manifest all the things that you want in this present, because you have that connectivity already to the feeling of it. And that's through your community, from knowing the love that you deserve, from having that abundance around you of maybe people who are already in your life, or new friends, or chosen family that make you feel more on top of the world, as it were, and more yourself, that connect you to that feeling of power, that you have the power to have those relationships, and that aligns you further. I feel like there could be, with this Five of Wands, maybe quite a lot of options coming up for you, but maybe opposing wills and desires coming at you. But I think your boundaries are really going to be able to show who it is and who it isn't that you want to allow in, potentially. And it's interesting with this King of Pentacles that we've kind of got this bullish tenacity here to really unpick. And maybe this is in terms of not allowing other people, like there's this great sense of self, and not allowing other people to throw you off kilter, as it were. Like you, there's just this control, overwhelming control, and knowing and kind of recognizing the people that are like you, who are stable and secure and within themselves. And I feel like this is like maturity at its finest. Like I think you're done with like people that are emotionally immature. Like you just don't want that energy anymore. And I think sometimes people can talk the talk, and that's what I meant with like options and loads of people's opposing wills and desires. Wow, there's people all pushing their agendas, but I think you're going to be really able to see through that bull, as it were. And with this King of Pentacles card, potentially someone coming in could be an earth sign, a Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn, or maybe this could even be potentially the person from the past that even maybe comes and chips in and chimes in, or through other people's words, and them going, oh, you know what so-and-so is up to at the moment, almost still have a periphery in your life. And I feel like you're either able to smack down on that energy or entertain it if you do want to entertain that energy. Like I was saying, it depends on where you are. I'm not saying that this is necessarily what is going to happen. It could be someone new in terms of this King of Pentacles, if that doesn't sound like the person from your past. But if it does resonate for you, then take that, and if it doesn't, leave it. But I feel like this King of Pentacles, whether it's the person from the past and they've done that work on themselves, maybe they went to work on their career, their schooling, that kind of thing. There's this kind of established central world now where maybe they feel more on top of like their career, their job, their finances, their external world. They're feeling much more confident in terms of their goals and their ambitions and their accomplishments. Or if this is someone new, it feels like that they are someone that can nurture other people and want to reciprocate that energy, and are in that mature state that kind of almost rises out of all of the noise, as it were, like the noise of other people. And actually, I think it's very like for like I was saying, it could feel like you almost in this way of you tapping into that internal power of listening to yourself, listening to what comes up, and journeying away from the bull, as it were, and manifesting something new. But there is just definitely this like journey here, and I think it's because you've risen out of the past and that feeling of defeat, as it were, like the battles that you may have lost along the way when it comes to love. There is definitely this feeling of not having lost the war, that there is a lot more to continue going, and then there's new ideas, new people, new ways of thinking. And I feel like, again, with the Five of Swords, we've got this kind of like this potentially cross wires, this entanglement, but there is direction forwards. There is this movement forwards in this Six of Swords and also this Five of Swords. So I feel like there is one person maybe that really, maybe they're even air, because we've got the Six of Swords and the Five of Swords, but they could have air sign placements. So Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, maybe a mix in their chart between earth and air. But there is definitely this new opportunity for a way of thinking about love, and rising up out of the old and like leaving the past behind and wielding something new. And that's, I think the strength is going to continue going here, as in that strength of self, and really checking in with yourself at every turn, of being able to see through the fluff, through the bull of other people, and how their words and desires, how they may appear, and actually what they are actually saying, and the energy of the situation. Because words, thoughts, they can all lie, but energy doesn't. And I feel like you are going to be really in tune with the energy of the situation when you're meeting new people, and your intuition is going to guide you and give you that victory that you so wish for in terms of love. The energy and the fulfillment that you know through that Nine of Cups that you are deserving of more than anything. And I think when you have that feeling of deservedness and you follow your intuition, you follow your instincts in this way, and you really release any thoughts of the past and forgive that and journey away, and you're manifesting your future, that energy for now, things are going to happen so quickly and propel you forward with that Eight of Wands. And with the Four of Wands as well, there is this great celebration of like-minded people and that festivity, that connectivity, whether that be a sisterhood, brotherhood, like-minded sanctuary of souls all together. And I mean, Four of Wands is indicative of weddings and celebrations and birthdays, parties, that kind of thing. But with that Six of Wands, that triumph that you are looking for, I think it's at the point where it's almost nothing can stop it now. It's kind of like the Charity with that Eight of Wands. It's taking your hands off the wheel and allowing almost the universe to co-create with you exactly what it is that you want, because you are a lightning rod for the divine. And maybe those feelings have already stirred up in some ways, or potentially it's just letting go of the past in order for the future to take form, that kind of catapult feeling. But it feels like there's that swiftness coming in, and maybe much quicker than you realise, as soon as you allow those that release and focusing on the present moment. So it definitely feels like action. Action is the word that I feel like is coming. Action and things moving, things shifting for you. And that's all through, I think, those healthy boundaries that you've created of the energy that you will and won't, because you'll so easily be able to see through people's people's facades and people's words and attached to the right energy. And that's where you find the people that really make you feel like yourself. And you've already got great emotional chums, whether that's your family, your chosen family, your friends around you that connect you to that energy. So keep leaning into that community and knowing the energy that you deserve, because that's victory in itself, but that's going to help differentiate between the others, to that feeling of, and also the paradoxically, you've had that loss, you've had that feeling of feeling deserted potentially, or cut off, or separated, and at a break, and maybe loss. And paradoxically, you needed that sometimes in order to see the hope, to see the new, to see the victory of the situation, the positivity. So it can be hard those times, but with that hindsight and that perspective, you realize that it almost makes you treasure the new. And those people in your life, the people that give you that love, are the people that are going to bring more of that out into the world for you and help you with that internal sense, so your external start to show it even more and reflect it back to you. So I want to get some affirmators as well for you guys. So let's have a look-see. Oh, okay. Well, we've got quite a few. I'm going to take those away and I'm going to use these guys. Because you fell first. So we have got wait and see. Thoughts love to wander into assumptions and race ahead to the future. But what if you told them to cool their jets and chill a sec? Today you get to put your mental chatter on pause and take a breath and simply wait and see how things play out before you let your mind run a marathon of imagined scenarios. Wait, and you'll see that waiting and seeing was a lot more productive than wondering and worrying. Insert audible sigh of relief here. So with this wait and see, I think you're already in that Nine of Cups energy of feeling fulfilled, but also I think you're already in that wait and see moment, in terms of like, don't allow, especially when you see people, like I said, words and thoughts lie, energy doesn't. And potentially there is a lot of energy of like, yes, in the future I want this, but like a lot of chatter potentially. And maybe a lot of surface level banter and all of these things. But if you wait and see, the energy will stick out like a sore thumb. The energy that feels right, your instincts, that intuitive knowing that propels you forward. And instead of allowing, like, expending energy through worrying, like it says, and also like planning and talking and all of these things about about what's going through your mind, like maybe potentially with other people, with friends and all of those things, there's that excitement, but maybe it's good to see how it plays. And sometimes when you're silent and when you're with yourself, you actually realize within whether it's actually something you want or not, if you don't get caught up in like the whole thing of it. We've also got self-worth. I cast off all concerns about what people think of me. I know I'm totally a kick-ass person, and my kick-assness can never be diminished by rejection. So people can think what they think and feel what they feel. In the meantime, I'll just keep on knowing what I know without thinking about what they are thinking about what I already know, I think. So I think with this self-worth, what's calling to me is the kind of past that we were talking of maybe the feeling of ghosted or separation, no contact, those feelings, feeling aloof and feeling out of the loop of a situation. And that is usually a reflection of them more than it is you. Actually, it's not even usually. It is a reflection of them more than it is you. It's their fears and anxieties, and that's not right necessarily that they put them onto you. And but you can absolutely not be diminished by those feelings. Even if you felt rejected, even if you did put yourself out there, all of those things, you showed your vulnerability, you showed your strength, and you were standing up for yourself and what it is that you wanted and what you knew that you were deserving of, and asking for that. So don't be put down by that. But also, whatever people think or feel about you, that's their opinions, that's their right. You don't have to get on with everyone in this life, but also there is no point of worrying about what they're thinking or what they're doing or what they're saying, because actually it's kind of this water of a duck's back energy. You need to focus all of that external feelings of what if onto yourself, and things will unpick themselves. Wait and see. Don't allow your mind to create scenarios that may not even be there, because usually people are so worried about what other people are thinking and feeling about them that they're very rarely thinking and feeling about you, in a way, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. We've got boundaries, which is so interesting because we've got so much about boundaries with that Emperor card. I claim my right to set healthy boundaries, and I allow others to do the same. Sometimes personal space is taken and sometimes it's given, and sometimes if you're on the subway, it's completely disregarded and shamelessly invaded. I guess it depends on the day. Obviously we had about your boundaries and setting those healthy boundaries, and maybe in the situation from before, maybe they were going off and doing their own boundaries, but who knows? Who knows what they took their time to go and do or be or whatever. But your boundaries should be respected, and therefore you should also respect other people's, but you allow the energy that you want and you accept in your life, and you take all the personal space that you need as well from situations from the past. And if that energy does come in and it doesn't feel right and it feels like chatter, you do not have to allow it in just because I said potentially this person could come back and be a different person. You still have your sense of your own intuition, and anyone, also any friends or whatever, not just me saying it to you, but it doesn't matter what everyone else is saying. You know within yourself intuitively what you are deserving of and the energy of the situation. If the energy doesn't feel right, your boundaries are there for a reason. The words and thoughts can sometimes try and creep up and like chip away at it, but you'll know intuitively whether it feels right. We've also got thoughtfulness. It's time to put your money where your mouth is and have fun showing your love. Think of all the little things you can do to show a person you love them. Then stop thinking of those things and actually do them. Is it time to hide a note in someone's pocket, make them a snack, order them a book? Anything thoughtful can be an act of love. Even taking the trash out to the dumpster, unless you're dating the trash, in which case don't take it to the dumpster, take it somewhere fancy. Wow, who would have thought that being so full of thoughts could be considered thoughtful? So I think there's this like beautiful energy of, if you like someone, tell them you like them. Tell them, like, think about how great it feels to be told, oh, your outfit looks amazing, or you've got such a beautiful smile, or that kind of thing. Like, a compliment is free, and I know it sets me on cloud nine, and even just reading yours guys' comments in the comments boxes, or like whenever I'm on TikTok or anything, and anyone says anything nice just about like my jumper or something, that thoughtfulness actually put the words that they were thinking down, means so much to them, and it can really lift someone up, and it really shows and showers people with love. And maybe it's taking the thoughts that you never, like, you always think internally to yourself, the positive things, and actually saying them out loud to someone. It's so healthy and it's so nice and it brings so much joy, and it's, like I said, it's free. But like, you know, unless you're taking dumpster to somewhere fancy, then great, or ordering them a book or whatever. But I just like, and what I'm hearing is life is too short to worry about what people are thinking and feeling, but you don't need to win people on your side. Like, the right people, you are going to have those thoughts and you're going to want to do those things for them. And I just feel like there is this energy coming towards you in terms of this, what's coming next in love, which we're obviously asking for, where you're going to feel so much love in terms of your sphere and your people. And that energy, feeling more of that in your life, is going to connect you more to it, and therefore those opportunities for those thoughtfulness, for all of those things to show people you love them, are just going to keep coming at you. So just wait and see for it. But also be thoughtful of yourself as well, is something I just heard, is buy yourself a book, write yourself a cute note, do all of those things, show yourself the acts of love as well first. So my lovely friend, do that please. Write on your mirror like you look beautiful, or whatever it is, if you're not getting it from the external world, because you are. Know your self-worth, and your boundary could be a party for one, for all I care. As long, like, this could, like I said, this could either be people coming at you, that kind of thing. And I do feel like there are a lot of, like, is energy coming, and that is so exciting. But love yourself above all first, because Mama Ru says it best, and I've just watched my episode of UK's Drag Race. If you can't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. So have that thoughtfulness for yourself too, and recognise your self-worth. So my glorious friends of Pile 5, I'm going to leave that reading there for you guys today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this reading. I've absolutely loved reading your cards today. If you'd like to see me again, please do hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I really hope to see you guys there. Bye.